What's up guys, this is your favorite fanfic YouTuber, the Fanfic Majesty, and welcome to another amazing video. You can follow me on Patreon for exclusive stories.
4VC 067. Lai Mu needs to be a little more serious. 067. Lai Mu needs to be more serious. Ha 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 ha, is that guy Oden going to fight? That boy is so unlucky. Oden saw him with a beautiful woman, it must be a disaster. Moreover, Kazuki Oden also drank. As the Wano-kuni daimyo, he can't be reasonable. At this moment, on the street, many people sweated over Lai Mu and Tianyu. They are all dressed in samurai attire and their clothes are very simple. Naturally, people would think that they are civilians from Wano-kuni. Isn't it unlucky to meet Kazuki Oden? At this time, Kazuki Oden was not very famous. He was more like a silly son of a landlord. He had a strong and powerful appearance and even his neighbors on the street were bullied by him. Your Highness Oden, let's go back first, Izo, a retainer, reminded. I'm fine, I just complimented the beauty on the street. Kazuki Oden pushed Izo away, feeling dissatisfied and shaking again. Now, as more and more warriors gather around, there are more and more warriors around. Not all people watching the fun thought it was a big deal. Some drunken talk also broke out. Oden, haven't you seen the famous swords in their hands? I think you don't have enough fights. Yes, that's the authentic view of the world. He must be a powerful warrior. As someone reminded me, people on the street all noticed that the knife in Lai Mu's hand was the treasured sword of the Wano-kuni Tianyu family. It is an authentic view of the world. And it is said that wasn't it snatched away by a blonde pirate more than 10 years ago. Wano-kuni is closed to the outside world and has no knowledge of the outside world. Therefore, it does not understand or care about the golden lion being defeated by Marine. Now that they see the sword of Guanxi Zhengzong, everyone's imagination is that this person is very powerful. And when he heard that there were powerful warriors, Oden became excited. In Wano-kuni, Oden has defeated all the invincible warriors in the world and has always wanted to challenge a powerful samurai. Therefore, when he saw Lai Mu, a stranger, he wanted to fight. Ha 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 ha, this samurai, are you interested in playing with me? Kazuki Oden suddenly sobered up, and his momentum suddenly burst out. He knew that any sword-wielding samurai would be willing to fight with anyone. Impossible, the opponent is just a young man in his early 20s, but Kazuki Oden is Wano-kuni's strongest fighter. How can he be Oden's opponent? But, if Oden can defeat him easily, then that famous sword, hehehehe. Don't think about killing people and stealing goods. By the time Oden defeats that samurai, that famous sword has already changed hands. Do you still want to snatch the sword from Oden's hand? Haha, your suggestion is really good. Lai Mu looked at Kazuki Oden and said words of praise. If you can defeat Wano-kuni's #1 warrior, your reputation will surely grow. The attention is there. Moreover, Oden's current strength is comparable to Kaido's. Lai Mu can definitely use this battle to calculate how much effort it will take. At this moment, the surrounding warriors laughed. And this laughter is completely mocking. After all, the opponent is Oden. He can accept the battle so easily. This person must not be a fool. Master Lai Mu. Tianyu looked at Lai Mu with some worry. Because, she felt the fierce murderous aura from the drunken warrior in front of her. This feeling can only be possessed by great swordsmen. In other words, this enemy is very powerful. Involuntarily, Tianyushi began to worry about Lai Mu. After all, he is the man who wants to found the country for Wano-kuni, so he can't make any mistakes. This is also his own siege. At this time, Lai Mu adjusted his clothes and took out the famous sword Guanxi Zhengzong from his waist. Don't worry, nothing will happen to me. Hearing Lai Mu's words, Tianyu's expression suddenly froze. She knew that Lai Mu was going to teach this King Wu a lesson. The most important is, the reason may be because the other party teases me with a flirtatious tone. Such a man is so secure. At this time, the warriors who were watching felt something bad and immediately turned around and ran away. He stopped after running 100 meters. Why? This street is about to become a battlefield. Of course, we need to find a safe corner to eat melon and watch a show. In just a short while, the streets were cleared. But people's attention is not less. But at this moment, Lai Mu, who was originally in the original place, suddenly died. When it appeared the next moment, it was already in midair. Looking down at Oden on the street, fierce fighting spirit burst out from him. At this time, I saw the famous sword in Lai Mu's hand, and there was a vague airflow. When these airflows sink, the air becomes a little heavier. But if you look carefully, you can see various purple undercurrents in the clean midair. In an instant, there were more and more purple undercurrents, and they became more and more dense. Call out, ring ring ring. Finally, when the purple undercurrents gathered together, the area around Kazuki Oden exploded instantly as if it was attacked by some huge force. And Kazuki Oden also flew backwards with rapid force. After settling down, Kazuki Oden looked at Lai Mu in midair and said. What a random samurai. What the hell is this thing that doesn't look like a slash, but Wangsing is indeed not small. Quote. But, compared to my Tien Yu Zan and Yan Mo, it's far behind. The moment Kazuki Oden finished speaking, Lai Mu's knife also swung again. This time the slash was purple with red in color, and was more domineering compared to when it slashed the mammoth Jack. Almost blocking out the sun. No way, Jack's kind of thing really can't be compared to Kazuki Oden Li's. Facing such an opponent, Lai Mu had no choice but to be a little more serious. Otherwise, it would be too much of a delay. Seeing this slash coming out today, all the surrounding warriors who were watching had stunned expressions at this moment. Oh my god, this momentum is no joke. Without 80 years of skill, this reverse slash is impossible to execute. As a retainer of the Kazuki family, Izu is on guard at the moment. Although he fully believes in the strength of His Highness Oden, he seems to be even faster and more powerful when he cannot resist him. Not only Izo, but almost everyone made a defensive posture at this moment, and just stared at the battlefield, their expressions became serious. I can't let you destroy Wano-kuni. Oden smiled. After pulling out two famous swords, his smile disappeared instantly. 068. The person holding Yama is the one who predicts the Emperor. 068. The person holding Yama is the one who predicts the Emperor. Call out. There are no unnecessary words, and there are no signs. Kazuki Oden drew the knife directly, made a defensive stance, and made an arch shape with his body, directly facing Lai Mu's slashing attack. At this moment, purple slashes were like pouring rain, hitting Oden. Clang. Buzz buzz. With Oden's sword, the stone slabs on the street were immediately shaken and flew up. Hey, these stone slabs are Wano-kuni's cultural relics. Kazuki Oden said dissatisfied. Boom. The deafening statue of the god was like thunder coming from the sky, resounding directly in all directions. A terrifying aura also emanated from Kazuki Oden. Conqueror's Haki. When Lai Mu's purple slash was about to reach, Oden gathered all the power in his body and used Conqueror's Haki to increase his combat power. Boom. The air waves visible to the naked eye exploded instantly as the two sword lights touched. Tiles flew up in all directions on both sides of the street, and the stone slabs on the ground were overturned. The soil brought up instantly shattered in the air and turned into smoke and dust, which was immediately blown away by the sword energy. As for Kazuki Oden, his feet were like earth-turning machines, directly overturning the soil under the stone slabs. A total of 490 people also pushed along the direction of the street for nearly 100 meters. One time, he reached the edge of the crowd of onlookers. These onlookers never imagined that the safety distance reserved by themselves was completely insufficient. It will affect him so soon. With such a slash, I am a great swordsman. Otherwise, if you are not a great swordsman, can you be worthy of being the master of the Tianyu family? Oh, miscalculation, we are already retreating a little. And at this time, just when all the slashes were blocked by Oden with all his strength, a circle of fragments immediately appeared under Kazuki Oden's feet. Before the people who were watching could react, Kazuki Oden has disappeared. When he reappeared, he was already in front of Lai Mu, and the Tianyu Yuzan and Yan Mo in his hands kept waving. Time. On the empty streets, there was a clanging sound. Wano-kuni's strongest sword. They were all resisted by Lai Mu. From beginning to end, Lai Mu only used one hand. Under normal circumstances, the slashes of a swordsman of the Edo Ryu style are more powerful when both hands are holding the handle of the sword, but now, Lai Mu's one hand can only prove that he did not use his full strength at all. It's better this time, the previous slash was not full force. Now he was using only one hand to resist Kazuki Oden's attack. Did he not defend himself seriously? How outrageous. You are really strong, but if you don't use all your strength, you won't be able to defeat me at all. Kazuki Oden made a weird laugh, his expression still very calm. Really? But I thought it was enough. Lai Mu looked at Oden and stopped explaining. Seeing these two people, everyone on both sides of the street looked at them in astonishment. Are you kidding? The opponent is Kazuki Oden, the best swordsman in Wano-kuni. Even if the opponent is a great swordsman, he is no match for him. Could it be that Oden was too drunk and didn't use his full strength? That must be the case. At least hundreds of swords were struck this time. The speed of swinging the sword was simply too fast. Idiots. You. With such sword skills, you need the dragon horse of our great swordsman Wano-kuni. Open your eyes and take a good look. The street has been split in half. At this time, only Tien Yushi was still worried. After all, he is his own man. Even if he is facing a weakling, he will inevitably be worried. No matter what, Lai Mu cannot be allowed to fight alone. This is what a guardian should do. Moreover, this is Wano-kuni where the Tianyu family is located. 800 years ago it was the first family, the leader of Wano-kuni. Is this how they treat Wano-kuni's future heroes? And also at this time. With a bang, just above the street, Kazuki Oden's sword wrapped around armament Haki collided directly with Lai Mu's sword. The sound of BFED came out. The strong aura on the two people exploded instantly again. This is not a coincidence, he is really capable, otherwise he would not have persisted for so long. Whose retainer is this? It can't be from the Tianyu family, otherwise how could there be an authentic Guanxi sect? So, he was snatched back from the pirates. At this time, the street is at the end of the street. Izo has informed the Kazuki family of the situation, and retainers are constantly arriving. And after seeing the fierce battle between Kazuki Oden and Lai Mu, the terrifying momentum broke out. Even the retainers who often used swords were completely shocked at this time, and they didn't know what to say. Because Oden likes nothing more than to compete with strong men. Each of these retainers has extraordinary swordsmanship, and they often attack Kazuki Oden. They know very well how strong Oden is and how powerful the swords he just wielded are. They know very well in their hearts how powerful the swords he just wielded are. Especially the speed at which the two swords were swung showed that Oden had no reservations. Just those few knives were enough to destroy an entire street. However, it was completely blocked by the unfamiliar Shichi warrior. It is enough to show what level of swordsmanship this strange warrior has achieved. Boy, you are good at swordsmanship. Why don't you come and have a bet? Kazuki Oden's shirt was ruffled by the strong wind and immediately began to stir. Lai Mu, as calm as ever, resisted Oden's attack with one hand and said, "What do you want to bet on? I can see that you have a precious sword in your hand." "Hee, just bet on the sword in your hand. You know, I won the sword in my hand," Oden said with a smile. "How about using my Tianyu Yuzan and Yanmo to bet on the sword in your hand?" The words fell. Lai Mu smiled. "Do you want to gamble with me? Isn't this a joke? It means that the loser loses his sword to the opponent, which is very common in swordsman duels. Just like in the thriller Bark, Zoro met the zombie Ryoma in Moria. He looked at the zombies at first sight, and finally defeated Ryoma in the duel, making Ryoma willingly give the sword to Zoro. Are you a fool? This is my unparalleled sharp sword, what is yours? Ah, you actually know that it is the supreme sharp knife. However, I agree. After a short confrontation, Lai Mu has already understood the strength of Kazuki Oden. Generally speaking, he is definitely not the opponent of Golden Lion and Roger in his heyday, and he can say that he has a fighting experience. Under such circumstances, Lai Mu has never been shy about the good things delivered to her doorstep. At this time, Tianyu felt a little uncomfortable. Because, before that, there was such a supplementary word in the prophecy about Joy Boy. The samurai holding Tien Yuzan and Yama is the man who inspired Wano-kuni and allowed Wano-kuni to found the country. In other words, the person who possesses Tien Yuzan and Yanmo is his own predicted emperor. Tianyushi covered her mouth in disbelief, and her face immediately turned red. Then, Master Lai Mu, could he? You can read more daily new novels on fictionzone.net. Both sites shared the same login details so you don't need to sign up again. 069. Sengoku, doesn't Lai Mu know that S*X is a steel knife for cutting meat? 069. Sengoku, Lai Mu, doesn't he know that S*X is a steel knife for cutting flesh? If Tien Yuzan and Yanmo are not in the hands of Master Lai Mu, but belong to this somewhat wretched warrior in front of me. If that's the case, doesn't it mean that you're dedicating yourself to the wrong person? The prophecy is completely wrong. Tianyu felt a little numb. She felt that she had encountered a ridiculous plot like the Condor Dragon Knight. If it were true, then this time travel would be a mess. But, then Tianyushi shook his head like a rattle, denying it. In fact, the reason is very simple. She felt that she would never admit the wrong person. Compared to this somewhat wretched samurai, people like Lai Mu are their true destiny. Now Lai Mu was about to compete with the samurai, and he even placed a bet on the famous swords in their hands. If we could defeat him, wouldn't the two famous swords of Yu Yuzan and Yanmo be in the hands of Master Lai Mu that day? At this time, when Lai Mu jumped to Tianyu's side, Tianyushi's eyes were filled with requests and nervousness, full of femininity. Coming to Lai Mu, Tianyushi carefully reminded Lai Mu in his ear, "Master Lai Mu. For my sake, please defeat that warrior." Seeing this scene, Kazuki Oden almost spit out blood. Isn't it just a fight? Both sides have beauties to accompany and encourage them. And myself, nothing. Do you expect those retainers who are hiding and watching? Each of them looks like a crooked melon with cracked dates. Azang is the only one who can see past. What's more, he's a man. When I feel the sky and the moon, my eyes look forward to Lai Mu with infinite expectations. To be honest, Kazuki Oden felt envious. I lament that God is unfair. Don't worry, it's okay. Lai Mu rubbed Tianyu's green hair. Oden, I really don't know how to say hello to you, huh? You have lost your wife and you are going to lose your troops. Then, Lai Mu disappeared again. The next second, he slashed Oden's face with the knife. Then, thank you for the gift of the famous sword. As Wano-kuni's most famous person as Wano-kuni's first samurai, he naturally won't have stage fright. It doesn't matter who gives it to whom. I'm Wano-kuni's Kazuki Oden. The moment the words fell, Kazuki Oden directly wrapped the double sword around armament Haki again. But this time, Yanmo and Tien Yuzan, who were covered in armed colors, showed a trace of pink. Emission. Oden's two-sword style, spear, and ghost. Oden's move is to quickly pass the double knife and fork wrapped around armament Haki over the target without hitting it directly. The person passed over will fall down as if being stabbed by a spear. It can affect multiple targets. And this time, brush. Lai Mu disappeared again. Boom. The first warrior of Wano-kuni waved his swords, and countless sword lights swept through the streets. The whole street seemed to have been bombarded by artillery shells at this moment. However, Lai Mu was not idle either. He slashed vertically in midair. The strong gravity directly dispersed Oden's sword energy and blocked it. Buzz buzz. At this moment, the streets were completely covered in dust. Samurai, you are indeed very powerful, Oden said with some appreciation. Then he glanced at Tianyu who was aside. Under the protection of such a great swordsman, this woman will definitely live a happy life. I don't know if this woman is from that family, so why didn't I meet her earlier? Otherwise, I have to ask my family to propose marriage. Kazuki Oden shook his head, feeling that his thoughts were random. You should concentrate on the battle now. After all, the other party is really powerful. Stop talking nonsense and just fight. Lai Mu felt that Oden really talked too much. As soon as the words fell, the two figures disappeared from the place almost at the same time. The next second, it appeared in midair. Kanshi Jungzong and Yanmo collide again. The violent sword light fell one after another along with the battle, forming rows of explosions on the ground, like bombs washing the ground. Oden's retainers who were far away jumped aside one after another. Everyone is watching this battle. My heart keeps churning. That's Oden's two-sword style, spear, and ghost. It's one of His Highness Oden's powerful killing moves. However, he was still resisted by Yi. This strange warrior is so powerful. Moreover, according to his age, he is only in his early 20s, but he can master such power. He is simply a born swordsman. At this moment, Tianyushi tightly held the famous sword Leiyu, which was a token of love given to her by Lai Mu. Tianyushi traveled through this time to escort Lai Mu, the prophesied emperor. But, a duel between samurai. According to the rules, no third party will participate. If you take action rashly, the dignity of the person involved will be violated. Regarding this, Tianyu was also extremely nervous. I have been cheering for Lai Mu in my heart. Master Lai Mu, you are the prophecy emperor, you must win. But, the two were fighting fiercely in the center of the street. Kaido Beast's pirate spies have arrived here. Originally, they were sent to monitor Kazuki Oden, but now, they actually see Oden fighting fiercely. This is useful intelligence information. Moreover, the opponent still holds the authentic view of the world in his hand. In the past 2 days, the title of Marine's 4th Admiral, who holds the world's authentic views, has spread throughout the Beast's pirates. But just before, Jack sank to the bottom of the sea without him, and it took a lot of effort to fish him up from the bottom of the sea. Lai Mu's name also echoes throughout Beast's pirates. One time, let these spies pay attention. That's right, it's the rumored 4th Marine Admiral, Lai Mu. He can actually fight Kazuki Oden back and forth. His swordsmanship is really extraordinary. Kazuki Oden is a man with the same fighting power as the governor. In their understanding, Kazuki Oden is as powerful as Governor Kaido. Now he is fighting Marine Lai Mu, and the fight is going back and forth. Doesn't it mean that Lai Mu already has the strength to fight the governor? But it seems that this Marine's 4th Admiral is not strong. Compared to Oden's height and build, he is a bit shorter. If we were to compare ourselves to Governor Kaido, it would be a giant and a child. Said a short spy. When he finished saying this, the short spy seemed to have thought of something, and ran towards the battlefield regardless of the chaos on the battlefield. This is big news for Wano-kuni. As long as you report it to Governor Kaido, you will definitely get a reward. At this moment, the spies were hiding in the corner of the street. Prepare to wait until the battle is over and report the process and results to Governor Kaido. At the same time, among the crowd, Gion had already blended in. He had already noticed the fighting scene on the street from afar. So I came to take a look. It doesn't matter if you don't look at it, once you look at it, something big will happen. He found out that it was Lai Mu who was causing trouble again. What a headache. I asked you to come to Wano-kuni to inquire about information, not to fight. Why do you like fighting so much? You really do it when there is excitement. Now, Lai Mu is causing trouble in Wano-kuni again, which may attract Kaido's attention. For the sake of his safety, let the headquarters deploy more manpower. Honestly, from meeting the mammoth Jack at sea, to now fighting samurai in Wano-kuni. Is this man so restless? Gion's little heart can't stand such a big stimulation. Gion had no choice but to take out the video phone and make a video call directly to the headquarters. Now, among the naval headquarters, the messenger Jahara trotted into Sengoku's office and made a nervous report. What did you say? Sengoku Admiral was a little confused when he heard Gahara coming to report, and he stood up from his chair with a bang. Mr. Sengoku, Lai Mu Vice Admiral, started a great battle in Wano-kuni with the local daimyo of the Kazuki family. The opponent is Kazuki Oden. Although Marine did not directly enter Wano-kuni's internal information, in order to control the specific information, he had arranged for spies to gather information. Regarding Wano-kuni's name, the impression given to naval headquarters is that of some people who support the military and respect themselves. Moreover, each of them has good strength. Please give me flowers. Especially the Kazuki family, it can be said to be the first prominent family in Wano-kuni. The combat power of his retainers is comparable to that of a large pirate group. Among them, Kazuki Oden is the strongest warrior in Wano-kuni. Nowadays, video intelligence came from Gion, saying that Lai Mu had started a fierce battle with the opponent. Unexpectedly, the temperature near Sengoku's office dropped a bit. What's going on now? Sengoku said with an ugly expression. Soon, Gahara threw the image onto the wall. Everything on the scene started to become clear. According to the discussions among the onlookers in the video, Lai Mu Vice Admiral was bringing a beautiful woman, but the daimyo named Kazuki Oden took advantage of the situation and made rude remarks. As a result, there was a conflict with Lai Mu Vice Admiral. In the picture, Tianyu Toki happened to be photographed, and her beauty was absolutely superb. In the entire naval headquarters, only Momoshiki could compare with her. At this time, everyone can see it. Tianyushi's eyes revealed endless worries. Her hands were tightly grasping her long sleeves. What she was holding tightly in her hands was the other famous sword, Thunderstorm, in Lai Mu's hand. She was nervously looking at Lai who was fighting fiercely. Mu. His eyes were full of tenderness and sweetness. In fact, since he saw Lai Mu taking out clothes for Momoshiki from the room that day, Gahara has long known the charm of Lai Mu Vice Admiral, the god of picking up girls at naval headquarters. At this moment, Jahala was not surprised at all. It's just that I can't help but be a little envious. There is no way, people are more annoying than others. Lai Mu Vice Admiral is really like a dragon and a phoenix among men, and he has gained another great beauty. And suddenly time. When Sengoku heard this, he felt a headache and started to frown. What about executing the promised mission? I just asked you to find out the news, how could you be distracted from picking up girls? Young people are young people, and youth always shines. Only time can fade youth. Sengoku Admiral remembers that when he was young, he also liked to do such things when he was on missions. In the end, he was called the Golden Little S**X Buddha, among the beauties. Slowly, when he reached middle age, Sengoku became more honest. Started working on my career. Only then did this black title slowly get rid of. Hey, Lai Mu went on a mission smoothly, but why did he get involved with a beautiful woman? The task is difficult. Why is Lai Mu so impulsive? Doesn't he know that S**X is a steel knife for cutting flesh? However, this boy has really good eyesight. That famous lady with green hair is so beautiful. Sengoku looked ugly, a little angry, and said naughtily. In the office, the atmosphere suddenly became quiet. They didn't know why Sengoku felt this way. Vice Admiral Crane, on the other hand, looked on expressionlessly. But she was keenly aware that the relationship between Lai Mu and the woman was definitely not simple. And judging from the woman's eyes and various small movements, it is estimated that Lai Mu has surrendered. At this moment, various thoughts were flashing through the mind of Officer He. You silly boy Gion, come on. Why are you still shooting with a phone bug? Right under your nose, your own man. Got robbed. Well, my stupid sister. Why do you have the same personality as me? Feeling resentful in his heart, Crane Vice Admiral gave Sengoku a fierce look. What kind of officers are there? What kind of soldiers are there? A nest of snakes and rats. Sengoku was so frightened that he suddenly shivered and then covered his mouth. Ha ha ha, Lai Mu looks exactly like Sengoku when he was young. Garp laughed heartily on the side. Now that Lai Mu has done something like this, the pressure on his side, Dorig's submission of resignation, has been reduced by half. Contact Kizaru immediately and ask him to go to Wanokuni on standby. Be sure to support Lai Mu when necessary. Gahara was a little nervous and immediately said, Sengoku Admiral, Kizaru Admiral candidate is in the scientific force. Stop talking nonsense. Let me execute it immediately. Yes. As Sengoku became angry, Jahala immediately took the order and left without caring about anything else. Sengoku rubbed his brow. We have to get Lai Mu on the right path, we can't just hang around among women all day long. 070. Gravity Fruit Awakens. Gravity Knife Hell's Gate. 070. Gravity Fruit Awakens. Gravity Knife Gate to Hell. At this moment, Wanokuni Street. There is no wind. The momentum is surging. The sound of clanking swords clashing constantly echoed in the air. The famous sword in Lai Mu's hand seems to have magic power, being entangled in the purple air currents. Huge air waves keep coming out, like dragons roaring and tigers roaring. Kazuki Oden also kept swinging the two swords in his hands, and he was getting faster and faster. He was a born swordsman, and his sword skills were unique. He had no fixed moves, and he kept slashing with brute force. Rumble. At this moment, it started to rain lightly in the sky. Countless raindrops continued to fall, wrapping up all the smoke and dust and bringing it to the ground. Suddenly, even the air on the entire street became fresher. One can even smell the fragrance of sakura flowers in the distance. But, the battle is far from over. Boom. Lai Mu doesn't want to play anymore. She only had this samurai uniform on her body, and it was too wet and uncomfortable. Therefore, he was ready to end the battle quickly. And Kazuki Oden also has this intention. I saw. Kazuki Oden wields the double swords wrapped around armament hockey, with the cross in front and the person behind, like a meteor streaking across the sky. After sending out the extremely fast cross-flying slash, the person followed closely behind. Oden used this move to rush into the sky and launch a shocking slash at Lai Mu. Oden 2 sword style Taoyuan 10 fists. The sound of swords resounded throughout the sky. Now, seeing Kazuki Oden use his special move, his retainers were shocked, and, 963, opened his mouth wide. I think it's about to end. His Royal Highness Oden actually used this move. When he competed with us, we didn't force him to use this move even though we joined forces. It's so powerful. The sound of this sword is deafening. The two were confronting each other, and the others were all bystanders, all affected by the scene in front of them. And at this time, Kazuki Oden's cross slash bombarded Lai Mu at extremely high speed. In later generations, Oden's 2 slashes directly hit Kaido, who was known as an invincible defense, leaving 2 explicit scars on Kaido's mind for countless years, which shows how powerful this move is. Although Lai Mu doesn't think that his current defense power can surpass Kaido. However, compared to Kaido's huge figure, Lai Mu's advantage is that he is a great swordsman and has superb swordsmanship. He even has life-saving skills like Kamui. Dang bing bing bing. The attack was approaching, but it was directed towards Lai Mu. But at the moment when he was about to touch Lai Mu's figure became blurred, like an afterimage. The cross-cut passed directly through Lai Mu's chest. In an instant, Lai Mu was split into 4 big petals. The next second after this slash directly penetrated Lai Mu's body, causing a huge explosion in the sky behind. The entire sky seemed to become clearer due to this blow. Question mark question mark question mark question mark question mark question mark. At this moment, everyone was stunned. On the street, Kaido's spies are recording the power of Oden's move so that they can report it to Governor Kaido later. It's like Oden's trump card. This is a useful piece of information. It's just that this Marine's fourth admiral couldn't help but deserve to be beaten. It was actually cut into 4 pieces alive, and Kazuki Oden's retainers covered their mouths one after another. They knew that Kazuki Oden's killing move was very powerful. However, I didn't expect it to be so powerful. Such a powerful and unfamiliar swordsman was actually split into 4 pieces. I'm glad I didn't force His Highness Oden to use this move, if he was resisting it. Who can guarantee that he will not be beaten to a pulp by Oden's 2 knife style and Taoyuan's 10 punches? Oden was also a little confused. He didn't expect that the other party would be so careless. I didn't intend to take the other person's life at all. I just want the famous sword in his hand. Oden thought Lai Mu would resist this move, but he didn't expect that the battle would be over. It was a bit unbelievable, but Guangyu Oden still said loudly, as if announcing to the world that he was the winner. Ah, it's over. I am the master of the famous swordsman Kanshi. At this time, Tian Yushi shed 2 lines of tears and stared at this scene in disbelief. For a moment, his chest felt like he was bearing tens of thousands of tons of pressure, and even breathing became difficult. Even more words could not come out. Momosuke dropped the phone bug and ran directly towards Lai Mu. You fool, how can you take this move forcefully? Now, 1. Unconsciously, she felt the same as Tianyu. Naval headquarters. In the picture, Lai Mu was split into 4 pieces by Kazuki Oden. The entire admiral office became as quiet as a ghost. At this moment, Sengoku and others all showed angry expressions, and their expressions were almost distorted. Damn Wano-kuni samurai, but why didn't Lai Mu resist? With his swordsmanship, he would not suffer such huge damage as long as he resisted. Now it has been split into 4 pieces, even the gods can't save it. And at this time, in the picture, Lai Mu still stayed in midair, and his figure did not even move. There is no bloodline coming out of the body. Even though this reverse slash had already flown into the sky, even though it had exploded behind him. But Lai Mu just stood quietly in midair, not watching the explosion behind him at all. That's right. This is the ability of Lai Mu Kamui, which can hollow itself to avoid enemy attacks. That is to say, at the moment of being attacked, the attacked part of the body is transferred to the Kamui space. This is similar to the elementalization of Logia's devil fruit. However, elementalization uses natural elements to avoid physical attacks. Kamui, on the other hand, uses a higher level of space transfer. In other words, within 5 minutes, Lai Mu is an ethereal presence. It can only be cracked by continuous attacks within 5 minutes. The next second, Lai Mu acted like a normal person. This is a good move. If someone else had taken it, he would have been killed, but I didn't feel it at all. Lai Mu rotated the Kan's Masamune in his hand and continued. Next, Kazuki Oden, come and try the moves I just learned. At this moment, in Sengoku's office, everyone was shocked when they saw the situation in the picture. They never expected that Lai Mu would have such a magical power zone. Elementalization. Can Paramesha gravity fruit be elementalized? Is it the effect of gravity space? In other words, Lai Mu's gravity fruit has awakened. Sengoku and Garp both looked at Advisor Crane. Among the naval headquarters, he has done more research on devil fruit than anyone else. After a long pause, He Fang breathed a sigh of relief, but still explained patiently. Some of Paramesha's devil fruit do have the ability to be similar to elementalization, but they are not completely elementalized, but use their abilities to do so. Avoid physical attacks. It seems from the scene that Lai Mu took advantage of this and directly transferred Kazuki Oden's slash behind him. In fact, I can't tell what kind of ability this is, but it doesn't seem to have anything to do with gravity. But all this seems very reasonable. Xiao He, is that so? Could it be that his devil fruit has awakened? Sengoku and Garp also asked again in surprise. In their understanding, if they want to extend devil fruit's abilities, they can only awaken it. Only in this way can it be developed to a more terrifying level. This level is almost incomprehensible. It's like rocks, such a monster. His devil fruit ability development can be said to be the most abnormal that few people have ever seen. Beyond ordinary people's understanding. At this time, Staff He nodded and continued after a moment. It's possible. We can only wait until Lai Mu comes back before asking. In my opinion, with Lai Mu's current strength and his ability to speak of elements, the security level has reached an unprecedented level. In other words, no one in this office is 100% sure of defeating him. I think Zephyr has the most say in this result. Unfortunately, Zephyr is not here. Sengoku and the others nodded, acknowledging what staff officer he said. Because Zephyr didn't hold back at that time. Under such circumstances, it was just a tie. Now, Lai Mu's devil fruit has awakened and its strength has reached a new level. Even Sengoku is not 100% sure of defeating Lai Mu. This kid is simply the strongest monster in history. Garp picked his nostrils and said, I guess only rocks from back then can compete with him. Upon hearing this, Sengoku immediately became anxious and quickly stopped him. Old guy, what are you talking about? Is Lai Mu a person like rocks? Don't mention such things again in the future. Yes, crunch. As he said that, he took out a pack of senbei from his arms and started to chew on it. Meanwhile, Wano-kuni, everyone was completely shocked by their knowledge. The samurai's slashes can only be resisted and endured. This is the first time I have seen Lai Mu's ability to turn slashes into hypocrisy. The Kazuki retainers who were celebrating their victory just now suddenly looked a little ugly. According to the current situation, even His Highness Oden's strongest slash was blocked, so the outcome would be hard to say. The surrounding Kaido spies started recording in their notebooks again. It seems like something surprising has been discovered. When Gion and Tianyu saw Lai Mu acting like a normal person, they immediately felt relieved. This man is so heart-wrenching. You obviously have such a powerful ability, why didn't you tell yourself earlier? Also avoid unnecessary worries on your own. The little hearts of the two beauties immediately sounded the alarm, beating non-stop as if they were about to explode. However, both Gion and Tianmu were relieved to see that Lai Mu was fine. This power is indeed too magical. It simply exceeded everyone's expectations. Even Kazuki Oden, a participant in the battle, had his mouth open, and his eyes were full of fear. He knows. The power of this move of his can completely cut a high mountain into several ministers. But the other party acted like a normal person, not even moving. Kazuki Oden simply couldn't stand this kind of result, and he was so far off the mark. The next moment, as Lai Mu's figure flashed, the whole person disappeared in an instant. When he appeared again, he was already in front of Oden. Constantly. During the battle, Lai Mu continued to attract attention. Through physical replacement, he remained at his peak at all times. Therefore, the next blow, 1.4, is indeed his strongest blow so far. Guanxi Zhengzong is spinning in his hand, Lai Mu is holding the knife in his backhand. Instead of swinging forward and slashing, Lai Mu gained new insights from the previous battle against Zephyr. In Zephyr Admiral's fist swing, Lai Mu has already experienced the terrifying power. How to maximize strength is one of the items he has always planned to improve. At this time, he was about to release the moves he had learned. Simply put, now Lai Mu not only needs to use his arms, but also uses the power of his whole body to launch a shocking blow. In an instant, Lai Mu stood on the ground with his feet and his body had twisted. Then, use all the strength of your body to pull the sword from behind to the front. Gravity Knife Gate of Hell. At this moment, countless purple lights burst out from the tip of the knife. The entire street seemed to be squeezed, and the surrounding houses had been twisted apart by the huge force. And the next second, on the ground in front of Lai Mu, the first bottomless hole appeared out of thin air. Boom. Then, the second one. Boom. Then, the third one. Boom. The dark pit is like a gateway to hell. The breath of fear is like an evil spirit released from the ground. They emerged from the deep pits in the ground one after another. Make everyone feel scalp numb. These bottomless pits are arranged one by one in an instant. One after another, they were thrown towards Kazuki Oden. 071. This umbrella is a good color, very green. 071. This umbrella is a good color, very green. Click click click. It's like destroying everything. A row of holes appeared in the ground, as if they had been drilled through by a pile driver. However, this area has indeed expanded countless times. The diameter of each pothole is at least 10 meters. Oh my god, what kind of monster is this? It's so scary, I don't want to stay in hell. Why is this bottomless hole still there? If the pillar of light rising into the sky is abnormal, the pillar of darkness in the opposite direction is an exaggeration. I can't believe it, I feel like the whole Wano-kuni is going to sink into the ground. The surrounding onlookers fled one after another, shouting continuously in horror. And at this time, the two confronted each other, and Kazuki Oden was a little confused. He looked at the potholes hitting him one after another, but he felt that his feet were a little unruly. Because, he felt that a strong gravity field appeared around him. At this moment, he felt like there was a huge pressure on his body, which made him unable to breathe. Moreover, under the heavy pressure of the gravity field, Kazuki Oden felt that his bones were about to break and his internal organs were displaced. After that, it was extremely difficult to even stand, and it was too late to escape. At this time, the shocking situation on Lai Mu appeared again. And Kazuki Oden noticed that the already dilapidated streets seemed to have completely collapsed at this moment. Not to mention there were deep pits everywhere, and huge stones fell, but there was no echo. How G deep is this? 15 inches so strong. For a moment, Kazuki Oden didn't know how to defend himself. He could only mobilize all his strength and slash. I want to use this to stop Lai Mu from continuing to exert his strength. Then, he rolled and threw himself to the side. However, how could Lai Mu give Kazuki Oden a chance to escape? It was impossible to sink a strong man like Kazuki Oden to the bottom of the pit, Lai Mu thought. However, under the influence of gravity in the pit, Kazuki Oden had no room to hide. Action is greatly affected. Under such circumstances, Lai Mu took advantage of the victory and pursued it. He dodged directly and struck Kazuki Oden on the back with a knife. Suddenly, Kazuki Oden felt a tear in his back, and blood started pouring out. In just a moment, Oden's warrior robe was completely dyed red. If he stumbles, he will fall head on into the pit. If it falls into the ground, the consequences will be disastrous. In fact, for a character like Oden, it will play a major role in the final stage. Lai Mu did not kill him. It would not be in his own interest to let Oden die now. Pay more attention to each other. Secondly, he also needs to use Roger's hand to see the secret of the final island. As for why he is struggling with this, it is because Lai Mu has heard too many things about Joy Boy during this period of time, and it is inevitable that he will be curious. At this time, Lai Mu struck decisively and stabbed him with a knife. Stop. Several figures flashed, came to the venue where the two were dueling, and shouted directly. These are the retainers of the Kazuki family. Seeing that Oden has no ability to resist, if the other party wants to kill him, no matter how strong this strange samurai is, he has to bite the bullet. And as several figures came quickly, they were about to reach Lai Mu. Lai Mu's famous sword stabbed directly and then raised upwards. Under the effect of anti-gravity, Kazuki Oden and several other retainers were knocked over one after another. He fell to the ground in a panic. It looks like it's safe. At this time, the hearts of these retainers were in turmoil. They never thought that His Highness Oden, who was invincible in their hearts, would one day be defeated. It can be said that Oden is somewhat vulnerable in front of this strange warrior. Otherwise, it would not have happened. One person fell to the ground seriously injured, and the other person could not tell the trace of exhaustion. Fortunately for everyone, Lai Mu did not kill him, and even helped Kazuki Oden when he was about to fall into the pit. This man is not only a warrior with superb swordsmanship, but also a man of noble character. Suddenly, everyone in the family had high hopes of making friends. If nothing else, this is a competition, and winning or losing is normal. And the other party's magnanimity is truly extraordinary. In response, several retainers also bowed slightly to Lai Mu to express their gratitude. At this time, whirring, Kazuki Oden gasped, grimacing as he felt the pain coming from his back, and felt a million disappointments in his heart. It seems that I have failed. Indeed, he was defeated by this great swordsman. After so many years in Wano Kuni, Kazuki Oden has grown up. He has shown strong talent in swordsmanship since he was a child. He has few opponents since he was young. After Kazuki Oden became an adult, he never met anyone again. Over the years, he has begun to constantly provoke various forces, just to find an opponent. It's a pity that there is no one who can fight. He thinks Wano Kuni is still too young. So I prepared to wait for the opportunity to go out to sea for a long walk, so that I could improve my swordsmanship. Now, the appearance of Lai Mu undoubtedly shocked him deeply, and even surprised him. I lost. The stab wound on his back was so deep that the bones were visible. Kazuki Oden could only lie on the ground, turning the entire ground red. At this time, the battle was over, and the sky seemed to sense it, and it began to rain lightly again. As the raindrops fall, under the wash of rain, the red blood slowly expanded outward. Izo stood up and knelt directly next to Kazuki Oden. Your Highness Oden, are you okay? Don't move, we will treat you right away. Damn, this wound is too big, it needs to be stitched up immediately. Yi Zhang quickly summoned another retainer. Your Highness Oden cannot move now. We cannot let the rain infect His Highness's wounds. Go get an umbrella quickly. His Royal Highness Oden's life is not in danger, please rest assured. At this time, Lai Mu took a few steps forward and stood directly in front of Oden. Then, according to the previous agreement, your famous sword belongs to me. Ha 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 ha, hoo. Of course, if you lose, you lose. Take it, Tian Yu Yuzan and Yan Mo belong to you. Don't underestimate me Kazuki Oden. Kazuki Oden is also a cheerful person who always speaks his mind. Since you choose to bet, you must fulfill your bet after losing. Losing means that these two famous swords have no chance with him. Lai Mu smiled and said, Live well, you can always challenge me in the future. After he finished speaking, he picked up Tian Yu Yuzan and Yan Mo from the ground, and pinned them to his belt the next second. Today my skills are inferior to others, I will definitely defeat you. I will take back the famous sword in your hand with my own hands. Kazuki Oden's fingers were clasped on the floor that had been soaked by the rain. Several claw marks are clearly visible. Kazuki Oden was also very unwilling to lose the duel. After all, I have been known as the #1 Wano Kuni warrior for a long time. After today, this reputation will change hands. That's good, I will have a goal in the future, hiss. After Kazuki Oden sutured the wound, he stood up with difficulty. Some blood beads burst out from the wound again, causing Oden to grimace his teeth. At this moment, there was only one thought in his mind. That is to challenge the man in front of me again in the future and wash away the shame of today. It won't take a while. The retainer who went to look for an umbrella searched nearby shops. Holding a small green umbrella, he ran over at high speed. When the little green umbrella opened, Oden was finally no longer exposed to the rain and was completely safe. With a physique like Kazuki Oden's, he will be full of energy in less than a month. However, it is inevitable that there will be a long scar on the back. At this time, Tian Yushi had already arrived in front of Lai Mu. Seeing that Lai Mu has defeated Kazuki Oden, and also collected two famous swords from King Kasumi. It has been infinitely consistent with 480's own prediction. Therefore, after this incident, Tian Yushi had every reason to believe that he had not sacrificed the wrong person, and that Master Lai Mu was his predicted emperor. At this moment, Tian Yushi looked very excited. Especially after it rained slightly, the water droplets on the blue hair made it even more charming. Holding Lai Mu's arm, Yinshi said, Great, Master Lai Mu, I believe the only one who wins is you. Oh, you should rest assured. Lai Mu put the two famous swords he had just captured into Tian Yushi's hands and said, Take these two famous swords, my sword-wielding lady. Quote exclamation mark comma quote. At this moment, Tian Yushi already had a picture in his mind. Lai Mu already possesses the Tianyu family's precious sword, Guanxi Zhengzong. And now he has also been gifted a famous sword, Thunderstorm. The Tian Yu Yuzan and Yan Mo. You can pass it on to your and Lai Mu's children, preferably too. Thinking of this, Tianyushi's face couldn't help but turn rosy, looking a little charming in the rain. Master Lai Mu, it's raining. Let's find a place to rest for the night. Lai Mu nodded and was about to leave. Yeah. Oden cracked his lips. I haven't asked your name yet. We are from the Tianyu family. Lai Mu left a message and left with Tianyushi. At this time, Gion also stopped nearby. After seeing that nothing happened to Lai Mu, he walked to another place. Because Gion is not Lai Mu, she has a task to do if she comes into contact with Lai Mu now. Then, in the eyes of the Wano-kuni people, they will be regarded as being in the same group as Lai Mu. In order to hide his identity, Gion had no choice but to leave first. As Gion left, the phone was cut off. The office of Marineford Sengoku Admiral once again fell into silence. .072. Kaido, what did you say? Oden lost. 072. Kaido, what did you say? Oden lost. What the hell happened? That deep black hole, is this a new move developed by Lai Mu? What kind of monster is this Lai Mu? The first samurai of Wano-kuni was defeated like this. If it was Lai Mu, I think it's normal. You know, Wano-kuni is closed to the country, and even the naval headquarters is not allowed for soldiers. The ultimate reason is that the samurai inside are too powerful, and even the naval headquarters has too many scruples. But now, Kazuki Oden, known as the first warrior of Wano-kuni, has failed in the hands of a marine vice-admiral. Who would believe it? If naval headquarters Sengoku and others had not already known Lai Mu quite well, they would not have accepted this fact. Suddenly, after standing in the office for a while, there were waves of exclamations. Sengoku clenched his fists even more. He knew that Lai Mu had become famous in Wano-kuni after this battle. Then, there is a great chance that Kaido will cause trouble. Staff officer he seemed to sense Sengoku's worries and quickly comforted him. Even if Lai Mu's actions have been exposed, it does not mean that he will be in danger. Before this, we received information that during this period, Kaido had fought many battles with Kazuki Oden, but they all ended in draws. In other words, Kazuki Oden's strength should still be comparable to Kaido, and Lai Mu defeated Kazuki Oden. If we continue to encounter Kaido, it probably won't be a big problem. Instead, I think Lai Mu still has a chance of winning. Faced with the comfort from staff Sengoku was stunned for a while. How come? Without realizing it, a character like Kaido is no longer a problem here at Lai Mu. Then should I ask Kizaru to go to the rescue? Sengoku hesitated a little, feeling that he was doing something unnecessary. Emma, it would be nice if Lai Mu believed in this, but now that the order has been issued, Kizaru is probably about to leave. If you call me stop now, you will lose all admiral authority. Forget it. Having subordinates like Lai Mu is a real torment. Everyone has seen the image, especially the bottomless pit, as if it were a mouth on the ground that wanted to eat people. Such a battle is probably only possible by the top experts in the world. Garp lay on the chair, crossed his legs, held his head in his hands and said, that child is much stronger than we thought. Well, judging from the various results he has achieved so far, yes. Staff officer he nodded and agreed with Garp's words. Sengoku has just experienced excitement, and now he is still frightened. He yelled at Garp. If Dorag doesn't leave, we will have 2 of these monsters. No, 5. Upon hearing this, Garp quickly shut up and turned his head to the side. Damn Sengoku, he doesn't know the current situation, does he? Dorag is a user with the wind fruit ability. There is no one who is impermeable in the world. This is enough to illustrate Dorag's ability to move. Can I stop this son? At this time, the second half of the Grand Line, the waters near Wano-kuni. The pirate logo of the Whitebeard pirates dances in the wind. Stop and go. They have arrived in Wano-kuni's waters. They went to the sea area of 8 Wall to get the treasure hidden by Whitebeard, and then encountered a battle between the Golden Lion and Marine. Now they have to pass through this place before entering their own territory. On the captain's seat on the bow deck, Whitebeard was sitting energetically, watching the fusion state of Marco and Jaws' recent fruits. After a burst of laughter, Whitebeard said, "Gu la 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 la. The progress is still not good. You guys, your devil fruit development is still too weak." Marco's whole body burst into blue flames. "Dad, now I can turn into a birdman at will. The flames also have the ability to heal. The ship's doctor on the ship will lose his job. Dad, look at how shiny I am. Even a great swordsman can't break through my defense." When Whitebeard heard this, he burst into laughter. When it came to his sons, Whitebeard Newgate didn't have much to ask for. Under their own protection, nothing will happen to them. Since leaving the Rocks Pirate, Edward Newgate established the Whitebeard Pirates, specifically recruiting teenage children as crew members with the purpose of building a maritime family. After all, Whitebeard is the strongest player in the world since Rocks and can pursue his dreams. At this time, Foil Beasta said, "Dad, Wano-kuni is ahead. I heard that the Beast's pirates are there. Should we go around or go directly through the Wano-kuni Sea?" Kaido. Gu la 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 la. That kid never pleases lousy. I heard that he formed the Beast's pirates. Why don't we go meet him for a while and see if he has made any progress in the past 2 years? Let's just go there. Whitebeard's eyes narrowed and he immediately thought of it. If he can fight Beast's pirates, his sons will be promoted. Moreover, as long as he is here, I believe Kaido will not be able to make any trouble. Naturally, Whitebeard Newgate would not miss such a good opportunity. Dad, please stop it. Wano-kuni seems to have many powerful warriors. Marshal D. Teach said somewhat. At this time, Blackbeard is still the same kid as the redhead. He has a withdrawn personality and is quite timid. Saki from the 4th team stretched out a hand and quickly hugged Teach's neck, reminding him to speak. Hey, Teach, there is no opponent in this sea who can be my father. Ah, I see, I have gained new knowledge. Who would have thought that many years later, the two people hugging each other at this moment, Teach would do something evil to Saki because of a dark fruit. In the end, the most powerful pirate group collapsed because of Teach. 2 years after the Summit War, it completely disappeared into the sea. Sail off, kids. Target Wano-kuni. Come on, let me pour some wine for daddy. Foil Beasta on the side smiled and came directly with a huge wine jar in his arms. New world, on an unknown island. A major party is being held on board the Oro Jackson, which has been completely restored. Wine bottles and meat bones were thrown everywhere. After experiencing the Battle of Atwal, the Oro Jackson was still damaged in many places, and the Roger pirates only had this ship, so they had to take good care of it. Compared with the many warships in naval headquarters, the treatment of pirates is completely different. When a warship is damaged, naval headquarters only needs a piece of paper to dispatch a new one. But the pirates can't do that. Whenever a war breaks out, it takes a certain amount of time to repair the warships. The pirate ship is also an important partner along the way. Seeing that the Oro Jackson was restored to its original state, Roger and others also held a party. Ha 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 ha. I didn't expect that the Golden Lion would disappear after the Battle of Atwal. Captain, this time the limelight was completely stolen by Marine. It's obviously us who attracted the Golden Lion to the waters of 8 Wall. Roger was holding the rum bottle, his face completely red. After hearing Roger's words, all the crew members burst into laughter. But, Captain Roger, has the Golden Lion really disappeared? Jabba raised his glass and took a sip. I don't know if it will disappear or not. Anyway, Golden Lion suffered a big loss. I really don't know how that brat Marine did it. Rayleigh looked up at Sky's path. At that time, although it was far away, but Rayleigh saw with his own eyes that the Golden Lion had taken off on a sea ship. Under such circumstances, no one can catch up. No one can defeat the Golden Lion with lion fruit at high altitude. Lai Mu. Ha 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 ha. I really hope I can meet that kid and see if he has the strength. Roger laughed after hearing this, but his eyes became a little serious. Golden Lion's famous swords are not fake. It was really captured by that Marine brat. Moreover, the news and newspapers continued to report information about Lai Mu, and even the events on Kara Island were revealed. Not only was the famous sword Sakura Jumikuru, which Golden Lion had just acquired, confiscated, but later even the unparalleled sword was confiscated again. What happened to Marine? In other words, what happened to Golden Lion? When things go wrong, there must be a monster, and Roger always feels that something is slightly wrong. However, he no longer thought about this matter, and Roger stood up unsteadily. Quote. Guys, the next stop is Wano-kuni, it will probably take a few days to get there. Quote. We are recuperating these days and must get the historical text in Wano-kuni. Ha ha ha. Hear what Roger said. The members of the pirate group present all smiled. It seems that today's banquet is about to end, and we have to do business in the next time. Let's go. Head to Wano-kuni. At this moment, the Whitebeard pirates and Roger pirates, for their own purposes, are heading in the direction of Wano-kuni. What they didn't know was that there was already a turmoil inside Wano-kuni. 4. Sound, divination Wano-kuni. Even Kaido has obtained information about Lai Mu. At this time, in a cave on the island, Kaido's huge figure was shaking like a mountain under the light of the torch. At this time, in the cave, a spy returns to report. After seeing Governor Kaido, he immediately knelt down. Governor Kaido, the user with the gravity fruit ability and the rumored 4th Marine Admiral, he appeared in Wano-kuni. Goo, ha. Kaido continued to drink, but opened one eye and showed a puzzled expression. I'm not surprised he's here. Besides, Jack's revenge has not yet been avenged. If he can serve as my subordinate, I will consider letting him go. The spy understood the meaning and continued to tell his information. Just now, he and Moonlight Oden fought. They had a fight on the streets of the Flower City. Huh, Kazuki Oden, that reckless man. When Kaido heard this, he immediately became happy, and then said with a smile. Ha 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 ha, that's right, that reckless man wants to fight with anyone, but I have to admit that B** D Oden is quite strong. Quote. Yes, Lord Governor Kaido. Kazuki Oden is indeed very sleepy. So, Oden is victorious. No. The spy nodded, and then said seriously, Oden failed. He was chopped off. The wounds on his back were so deep that the bones were visible. Even the 2 famous knives in his hands were confiscated by the opponent. What? A big hand stretched out from the darkness and lifted the spy directly. After pulling the spy in front of him, Kaido glared at him. What did you say? Say it again. That guy Kazuki Oden lost. .073. Obtain Ryujin Jaka and head to the Amazuki family. 073. Obtain Ryujin Jaka and go to the Tianyu family. At this time, New World, Aquila's Island. This is where the world's major news media gather, and the entire Grand Line's information converges here. At this time, the news agency had undergone tremendous changes. Because the news about Morgans exploded on the entire route, but he did not get the 100 million Baileys in return. Therefore, under the conspiracy of Morgans, the former president of the news agency, Baroque, was fired a week ago. Now, the house is probably rotten. Now Morgans has become the president of the news agency. And according to the pirate style of doing things, other members of other editorial clubs were recruited one after another. The news agency became the Morgans' personal property. President Morgans, news came from the sea again, saying that the 4th Marine Admiral Lai Mu has arrived at Wano in the New World and started a fierce battle. Really? This guy is not simple. Morgans smiled after hearing his younger brother's report. It looks like our news is going to be popular all over the world again. Wow, ha ha ha. Now this Lai Mu is at the center of world news. People all over the world are speculating about his true identity. News about him has caused a surge in sales. Even naval headquarters doesn't know about it at all, but I know, that guy is not simple, he may even be a man of the hour in the future. Morgans said. He turned around and looked at a corner around the news studio, where there was a fish man all bandaged. After the Battle of 8 Wall, Morgans dug up 663 big news about Lai Mu at naval headquarters. After that, the news became more popular than he imagined, and he knew the interests involved. When there was no news, Morgans personally went to the sea area of the Battle of 8 Wall. The scene of the naval battle had been completely cleaned by nature, leaving nothing behind. However, Morgans did not give up, but searched all the surrounding desert islands, hoping to find some useful information. Finally, a seriously injured mermaid was found who was still alive. This person's name is Jax, and he is a crew member on the Golden Lion main ship. After falling from an altitude of 10,000 meters, in order to prevent being caught by marine, the fishman endured the severe pain and drilled into the seabed. Although his body suffered serious injuries from the fall, he managed to survive thanks to his fishman physique. After getting bailed out by Morgans, the mermaid told Morgans all the details of the battle between Golden Lion and Lai Mu. And after Morgans heard Lai Mu and the Golden Lion disappear into the sky at the same time, Morgans was keenly aware that Golden Lion might have become Lai Mu's prisoner for some reason. A marine secretly imprisoned the great pirate Golden Lion. In this regard, the big news in Morgans' heart is brewing again. He stood in the editing room, wandering around, closing his eyes and thinking continuously. Come here. After thinking about it, Morgans shouted to the coder who was writing the manuscript on the side. Come here, integrate all the information collected in Wano. Our news this time will detonate the entire Grand Line. Lai Mu, your news will probably turn the entire Marineford BFFJ upside down. While at Morgan's side, Lai Mu has already settled in a hotel in Tianyushi. The sky in Wano was overcast, and there was plenty of rain all night long. The rain knocked down a bunch of sakura flowers, which fell all over the ground. The ground was full of pink. And after the battle with Kazuki Oden during the day. In the evening, I played cards with Tianyushi again. Lai Mu was still very energetic. At this moment, Tianyu was leaning on the side, and notification sounds kept ringing in Lai Mu's mind. Ding. You received 300,000 follow points from the big pirate Kaido. Ding. Your reputation in Wano continues, and you have received 800,000 follow points from Wano Samurai. Ding. You received Tianyushi's worship points. Your accumulated points have reached 3 million, which meets the replacement conditions. You can consume 3 million points from the 30 refresh rewards to exchange for 3 rewards. After hearing this, Guomu became more energetic. Quickly check the rewards. Currently, Lai Mu's taijutsu is maxed out, Conqueror's Haki is maxed out, Armament Haki is maxed out, Ito Ryu Swordsmanship is maxed out, there is also Iron Giant Physique, Gravity Fruit, Kamui. If in the pirate world, there is no full level power, it is Observation Haki. Of course, if there are other top quality devil fruits, Lai Mu can definitely be considered. Soon, the rewards on the carousel were refreshed, and soon they entered Lai Mu's Minister of Eyes. 1. Top Observation Haki, read people's hearts. 2. Zanpakuto Hierenmaru, already Bankai. 3. Universal Pull, S level. 4. Fire Style Long Yan Sings, Grade A. 5. Zanpakuto Ryujin Jaka, already Bankai. 6. Devil Fruit Awakening Seed. As long as it is a devil fruit, you have a way to awaken it. 7. Logia Mera Mera Fruit. 8. Paramesha Rubber Fruit. 9. Seeing this, Ping Mu quickly made a decision. Although there are still many devil fruits and ninjutsu, what is needed now is the best. Therefore, Lai Mu did not hesitate. Select directly. Ding. Host is sure to exchange for 1. Top Observation Haki, read people's hearts. 5. Zanpakuto Ryujin Jaka, already Bankai. 6. Devil Fruit Awakening Seed. 3 rewards. Yes. Without any hesitation, Lai Mu made his choice. Soon, the 3 rewards were successfully collected. At this time, Lai Mu felt that his observation Haki had greatly improved, and he could clearly observe even from far away. Ryujin Jaka is lying next to him at the moment, and he is deeply impressed by this Zanpakuto, Lai Mu. Ryujin Jaka is the strongest and oldest Zanpakuto in the fire type. It has the strongest attack power among the heat type Zanpakuto. The temperature of the flame behind Bankai is like the core of the sun. It is used by Yamamoto Genryusai Shigekuni, the former captain of Gote 13. Especially the residual fire sword behind Bankai, which can be said to be the king of attack power and can block everything. Everything in the forest is turned into ashes, and the blades are like being extinguished. This sword of fire burns everything it hits with explosive flames. Of course, Lai Mu doesn't expect to gain the kind of devastating power all at once. But since you have met Ryujin Jaka, take it first, it will definitely be useful later. As for the Devil Fruit Awakening Seed, to be precise, it is an ability. It is equivalent to the evolutionary roadmap of Devil Fruit. With the Awakening Seeds, awakening the Gravity Fruit is also a very simple matter. This time, the harvest is huge. It also greatly enhanced Lai Mu's strength. It can be said that Lai Mu now has become the strongest person in the sea. He has no shortcomings. At present, defeating Kaido is not a problem, and even Whitebeard is no longer his opponent. Thinking of this, Lai Mu smiled, his eyes sparkling with light. At this time, Tien Yushi also woke up as if he felt something. Seeing Lai Mu smiling, Tien Yushi asked coquettishly, Master Lai Mu, what are you laughing at? Looking at the woman in front of him, Lai Mu could already read her mind. She actually still wants it. Sure enough, women can't have S*X. Once they have S*X, they experience the happiness of the world, and then they can't stop it at all. Fortunately, Lai Mu's body has been strengthened, her physical strength can be said to be endless, and her mental strength is also endlessly powerful. So, while it's not completely bright yet, let's do it again. After all, it is Tianyushi's current wish. 2 hours passed. The sky has become completely bright. At this time, the rain stopped. Tianyushi had already arranged his clothes. Looking at Ryujin Jaka lying beside the bed, Tianyushi was shocked. This knife with a very simple shape must be of a higher quality than expected. Moreover, Tien Yushi could keenly sense the huge energy contained in that knife. Even the unparalleled Kuaisho Guanshizong next to him is far from possessing this kind of momentum. This is, Master Lai Mu, is this also your famous sword? His name is Ryujin Jaka. He is no ordinary sword. All the famous swords in the whole sea will not be its opponent. Tianyu, who was completely surrendered when she heard that someone she admired had such a high opinion of a famous sword, curiously went to hold it gently. In an instant, she could feel the violent temperature of Ryujin Jaka, as if it could burn everything. This is just a feeling, or a momentum. In fact, Tianyushi was not harmed. Ryujin Jaka, what a strong momentum. Is there really such a powerful knife in the world? Tianyushi, who originally didn't believe it, was now amazed and completely believed in the power of this knife. It seems, Madam Mother is indeed the greatest sword in the sea. Not only is he powerful, he also has a lot of famous swords in his hands. Such a man should never feel too secure. Under observation Haki, Lai Mu completely understood Tien Yushi's thoughts. This woman seems to be very dependent on herself. Sir, let's set off for the Tianyu family. 074. 8 trigrams Thunder vs Ryujin Jaka. 074. 8 trigrams Thunder vs Ryujin Jaka. Outside a cave somewhere on Ghost Island. A blue dragon rose into the sky and flew directly towards the flower capital. At the same time, Lai Mu and Tianyushi have taken to the streets again and are preparing to go to the Tianyu family. Although the rain had stopped at this time, the dark clouds had not dispersed, and the shadow of the dragon could be vaguely seen tumbling in the clouds. Kaido. Lai Mu frowned, can he help it? Soon, a green dragon fell from the sky and continued to shrink. A tall figure appeared on the street. Beasts Pirates Governor Kaido. A person with power who has eaten the zone, the fish fruit, the phantasmal beast species, and the blue dragon form. A man with a very strong physique. Flying dragon. The flying dragon is coming. Seeing such a momentum, the drunken Lingding and drunken men around him were all stunned. Climbing towards the foot of the wall. Because he knew that Phylong came to Wano-kuni a year ago and brought endless disasters to Wano-kuni. In the past, Wano-kuni had dragon-slaying samurai and sword god Ryoma. But now, the first warrior of Wano-kuni is Kazuki Oden, but in the previous battle, Oden and the flying dragon Kaido were evenly matched, and no one could do anything to the other. Meanwhile, just yesterday, Kazuki Oden was seriously injured by a samurai. Now, who will protect Wano-kuni from the flying dragons? That strange and unknown samurai. However, after yesterday, the samurai disappeared. At this moment, as if a disaster had occurred, the people of Wano-kuni fled one after another. At this time, the huge figure fell and Kaido's voice came out. Oh, 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 oh. Lai Mu. Kaido roared angrily and walked over with Bajijai holding the mace. After Governor Kaido obtained the fish fruit, he became infinitely confident. Although he knew that there were people in the world that he could not defeat, his own defense was not easily broken. Even if Whitebeard and Golden Lion stand in front of him, Kaido is confident to fight them. And believe that you will not suffer a loss. At this moment, Kaido roared angrily, and Conqueror's Haki burst out mercilessly. Powerful conquerors delivered to every corner of the street. The sakura flowers on the roadside have been blown away. After last night's wind and rain, a lot of them have fallen. Now the sakura trees are bare. And the countless residents in the surrounding area couldn't react at all. Suddenly my mind went blank. After a while, the world was spinning. He was immediately frothing at the mouth and was knocked unconscious by Haki. Those warriors who had some resistance also fled in a hurry. The aborigines of Wano-kuni never imagined that the streets would become the most dangerous place in Wano-kuni. In a short period of time, monsters appeared one after another. Kaido. Lai Mu said calmly. Then, a hot breath burst out from Lai Mu's body. Same with Conqueror's Haki. In an instant, two Conqueror's Haki collided. The sky actually split open due to the collision of two conquerors. It's not that Lai Mu couldn't resist Kaido's conquerors, so he released his own conquerors to resist, but he used his knowledge to see that Tianyu around him felt a little uncomfortable, so he used it to weaken Kaido's conquerors' haki. Sure enough, after Lai Mu released conquerors' resistance, Tianyu Shi beside me really felt much better. Lai Mu pulled Tianyu Shi to his side and said, "Are you okay?" Tianyu's eyes flashed, staring at the huge Kaido in front of him, and then nodded, "I'm fine, it's just that I saw that this dragon is not Wano-kuni's carp. He is the fruit ability user of the phantom beast species, and he is also Kaido who wants to attack Wano-kuni. Is it him? He looks so strong, but with Master Lai Mu by my side, I believe it will be fine." At this time, Lai Mu handed Guanxi Zhengzong to Tianyu Shi. And Tianyu Shi already had 4 famous swords in his hands. They are Guanxi Zhengzong, Tianyu Yuzhen, Yan Mo, and Yu. For those who don't know, they might think that famous knives are on sale during Double 11. Lai Mu only held Ryujin Jaka and said lightly, "Of course, it's just a loach." Suddenly, a sense of security filled her heart again, and she began to admire Lai Mu even more. Now is not the time to dwell on this. Because Lai Mu's knowledge and color also guessed Kaido's thoughts. Kazuki Oden is now seriously injured and is being trained in the Kazuki family. Kaido wants to take this opportunity to make a big fuss in Wano-kuni. As for Lai Mu himself, he is not in Kaido's eyes at all. Kaido just wanted to teach him a lesson and then take him under his command to contain Kazuki Oden. To use Kaido's logic, Lai Mu can defeat Kazuki Oden, but it is not enough to deal with himself. Killing people with a borrowed knife is so wonderful to imagine. Who gave you confidence? I'm being underestimated. Why don't you let Kaido be a grilled loach today? Hey, here Wano-kuni, are you a marine here to die? Oh. Kneel down and surrender, I'll make you my subordinate. I happen to have a vacant cadre position here. Kaido countered the having of Bahiajai's mace, and said in an unquestionable tone. Are you kidding me? I hope you can do something better than just the blue dragon form of the phantom beast species. You actually know about my devil fruit. It seems that you Marine's intelligence is still very concerned, and you have even investigated this. Kaido frowned, and then laughed. Since you all know, for my suggestions, how do you feel? Kaido is ambitious and wants to build a pirate group as big as rocks. In imagination, it is to use Zone Devil Fruit to enhance strength. But when faced with people with strong combat power, most of them want to be their subordinates. At this moment, seeing Marine's rumored 4th Admiral, he wanted to recruit someone to join him. Not much, but, Lai Mu thought. But I just need a mount. Kid, people like you are not allowed to come to the new world. I will let you. Before Kaido could finish speaking, Lai Mu drew the sword instantly, and for a moment, infinite flames burst out from the gap in the scabbard. The blazing fire makes people feel frightened just by looking at it. As the master of Ryujin Jaka, Lai Mu also has the ability to not be afraid of flames. In other words, Lai Mu's adaptability to high temperatures is the same as Ryujin Jaka's. The current Ryujin Jaka is not that exaggerated, but it is enough even against the lava fruit Akainu. Flame. Tensuki had expected it, and felt the power in the morning, so he did not choose to pull out Ryujin Jaka. But when I saw it at this time, I still felt a turbulent feeling. The famous sword covered in flames. When Kaido saw Lai Mu pull out Ryujin Jaka, the whole street was illuminated red, and he felt a palpitation in his heart. Does this kid still have the ability to control fire? Without any delay, Kaido rushed over waving Baji Jai. Please give me flowers. When in front of Lai Mu, Kaido jumped into the air instantly, and the huge figure fell down instantly, waving Baji Jai and smashing it down directly. Stick. Clang. Bear. Lai Mu blocked it with a knife in his hand. Ryujin Jaka is the strongest Zanpakuto. Although the blade is simple and has no characteristics, it is not comparable to the weapons in the pirate world. Even when faced with a mace blow, Ryujin Jaka cannot bend even half an inch. Lai Mu doesn't even use armament haki. He resisted directly. As Ryujin Jaka and Bahiazai collided, the flames burned and burst out in all directions. Kaido saw this and stepped aside. It's such a terrifying high temperature. It's higher than ordinary flames. It's a different kind of strange fire. Lai Mu raised his forehead, and after a swishing sound, Ryujin Jaka emitted explosive flames again. Moment. A bright light flashed. The flames turned into slashes and exploded instantly. The moment the two sides came into contact, a huge force was transmitted to Kaido's arm. Kaido's eyes shrank and he couldn't help but twitch. Oops. The information doesn't say that he can use the power of fire. Moreover, this strength is more domineering than Kazuki Oden's. Bang. Only a loud noise was heard. Kaido's huge body hit the ground heavily. Lai Mu holds Ryujin Jaka and is dressed in samurai uniform, looking at Kaido in front of him like a god of war. I don't think you are very strong. How do you think about the suggestion of a mount? Faced with the provocation, Kaido's eyes twitched. What do you mean by repeatedly mentioning it? Doesn't it mean that you really want to use yourself as a mount? Damn brat, you'd better quit Marine and join me as Beast's pirates. I'll let you be the second in command. Hearing Kaido's words, Lai Mu was also quite speechless. Kaido is a stubborn person. He still doesn't understand the current situation, right? Give up your unrealistic ideas and either kneel down or die today. Lai Mu will not show mercy to people like Kaido. Anyway, Grand Line is the same with you Kaido and without you Kaido. HMPH. Kid, pick me up according to 8 trigrams thunder. Kaido rushed over, and as he spun around, he waved his mace. This move 8 trigrams thunders. It uses an iron rod wrapped with lightning to hit the opponent at an extremely fast speed, which is extremely powerful. Moreover, the thunderous 8 trigrams surrounding Conqueror's Haki can attack from a distance, even achieving the effect of one piercing 2. 8 trigrams thunder also possesses extreme speed, and even those with observation Haki cannot safely dodge it. Strong attack power, high speed. This is the characteristic of the 8 monsters thunder. Human form 8 trigrams thunder. Sizzle. Countless electric currents flashed on the Bajijai mace, and with Kaido's swing, lightning flashed all the way. And Lai Mu has no nonsense. After all, he was facing a physical monster, a fighting madman. Everything in the world is reduced to ashes, Ryujin Jaka. In just an instant, the surrounding temperature has risen several levels. The burning sensation coming from his skin made Kaido have lingering fears, but he had to shoot as the arrow was on the string. Fights between masters often happen in a split second. However, the surrounding ground that was originally wet has now been completely evaporated. And countless sakura flowers have burned to carbonization at this moment. As the air current swept across the battlefield, it turned into an ash factory. 075. Everything in the forest is reduced to ashes, and the flying dragon is killed in one rage. 075. Everything in the forest is reduced to ashes, and the flying dragon is killed in one rage. Red flames danced in Kaido's eyes. Shunpo. 8 trigrams thunder. Ryujin Jaka Song Ming. Ryujin Jaka, who breathed flames in his hands, directly met the thunder of many 8 trigrams. Clang. Kaido deployed armament Haki to prevent his skin from being burned, and swung the 8 monsters thunder with all his strength. Ryujin Jaka and Bahiazai collided solidly. The collision sound was like thunder. The burst of air waves and flames burned everything around him to ashes. It actually blocked the thunder of 8 trigrams. Kaido is well aware of the changes after he obtained the fish fruit, that is, his power becomes seemingly endless, but this swinging blow was actually blocked. Moreover, it was the opponent who blocked it forcefully. So hot. Even though I defended myself with armament Haki, I still felt like my skin was burned. Should I use dragon scales? Can we withstand this terrifying high temperature? Kaido jumped and immediately dodged behind him. He used force to distance himself. To transform. Perhaps the green dragon form of the human beast can reveal the opponent's weaknesses. And Lai Mu is not idle. His eyes narrowed and he waved the Ryujin Jaka in his hand again. Burn the city on fire. This move burns the city, and, 640, Ryujin Jaka's blade releases flames, wrapping the enemy like a huge palm. If the enemy breaks through from the inside, he will be chased by flames with a temperature of 6,000 degrees. At this time, Kaido was surrounded by flames. Find your way through the flames. Soon, Kaido arrived at the center of the flame siege and directly activated his second form. Dragon form. Horns began to grow on Kaido's head, which complemented the original dragon horns. At this time, both sides of Kaido's body were covered with a layer of dragon scales, and his palms were like dragon claws. Especially on his face, the fangs were long. When you go out, it's like wearing a dragon mask. This form makes people look horrified. The warriors who were already running around stopped and stared at this scene blankly. Horrible. What happened to us Wano-kuni? How come there are so many strong men, but every one of them is so invincible? Forget it if you can't beat me. What's more important is that I feel like I can't hide anymore. Maid, these bastards are going to mess up Wano-kuni. Where's the damn Oden? Where's Kazuki Oden? He has a lot of power. Why didn't Wano-kuni see him when he needed him? Oden. He was severely injured yesterday. Huh, seriously injured. Yes, he was seriously injured by a samurai with a flaming sword. Quote exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark quote. Some people who did not see Kazuki Oden and Lai Mu fight expressed shock. Damn it, I didn't pay attention to the news for a day. Wano-kuni has changed so much. Let's talk about Kaido. It's too hot, it's about to be cooked. Even covered with dragon scales, even covered with armament Haki. But Kaido still felt that the temperature was a bit too high. Kaido frowned. His eyes were fixed on the knife burning with blazing flames. Which blacksmith forged this? There is such a precious sword in the world. Zhang Sanshi, Yin Nai Luo, Heng. Kaido jumped into the air, and was indeed chased by flames. He spun the mace in his hand, and Conqueror's Haki wrapped around the mace, swinging it sideways. In an instant, the black lightning on the mace was mixed with the energy wave and bombarded. The target is Lai Mu beyond the flames. And Kaido's goal is not just Lai Mu, it's also this wall of flames. He wanted to use this to get out of trouble. Sure enough, under Kaido's attack, a gap was quickly blasted out of the flames. Kaido was trying to escape from it. But, the burning flame seemed to have intelligence and surrounded him again. As for Lai Mu, just a slight pick of Ryujin Jaka in his hand changed the direction of Kaido's energy wave. Suddenly, it exploded in the sky. Seeing that this move had no effect, Kaido snorted coldly, and his facial muscles continued to twitch. Armed colors. Blah blah blah. Suddenly, Kaido's body instantly turned pitch black. Armament Haki is covered all over. This is not over yet. Although the display resisted the burning of the flames. But it's not a long-term solution. After all, the high temperature is really scary. If you let it burn, the water in your body will be evaporated. Kaido picked up the wine gourd hanging from his waist and popped the wine cork open with a push of his thumb. Immediately afterwards, he started drinking like crazy. Gudong, Gudong, encourage. Kaido's throat surged and he drank heavily. Soon, he felt his condition recovered. However, the problems we face are far from over. Seeing the scene in front of them, the onlookers were stunned for a moment. They have never seen such a powerful move. Although the flame sword is very rare in Wano Kuni, it is not impossible. However, the flames still have such power after leaving the blade, and they also have such a strong duration. It's so outrageous. It's too scary. Run away quickly. I feel like I'm going to run out of water. Ah, I was steamed dry and lost a lot of weight. I just watched the battle. Why did you treat me like this? These two people are really terrible. And at this time, the cadres of Kaido Beast's pirates also rushed over. Quinn saw that Kaido was actually besieged, and saw that all the surrounding streets were burned down. His funny face instantly became stunned. That's Governor Kaido. He is what Quinn considers to be the most powerful man in the world. Why are you still trapped? Ah, Governor Kaido, didn't you use all your strength? But, Governor Kaido has obviously already used the dragon form. You know, the dragon form is Governor Kaido's overall strongest fighting form. In other words, the dragon form is the strongest posture. The one with the strongest overall ability. How come? Kaido has decided at this moment that even if he rushes hard, he must break out of the fire. Even if he is injured, he will not hesitate. Kaido snorted coldly. Kid, I recognize your ability. Since you choose not to listen to my advice, then I will make you surrender by force. Kaido, am a being of immune to death. How can I be afraid of mere flames? Lai Mu listened to Kaido's spiel without any expression. Anyway, don't have too many trump cards now. And armament hockey, who can guess other people's thoughts, is like a plug-in and can see through all the enemy's conspiracies. So, what does Lai Mu have to fear? In the horrified eyes of the surrounding warriors and beasts pirates. Seeing this, Kaido endured the burning, rushed directly through the flames, and collided with Lai Mu. The power of the move completely exploded in an instant. A powerful shock wave washed away everyone present. All the dark clouds under the sky were dispersed. In the sea near Wano Kuni, the wind and waves are a bit higher. At this time, in the waters near Wano Kuni, the Whitebeard pirates have arrived. Along the way, let alone beasts pirates, even ordinary pirates have not been seen. Whitebeard and others are surprised. I felt a wave of power. It is clear. Far away, two strong men were fighting. The aftermath of the war even spread to the sea. Gu la 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 la. Kaido may be the only one who can do this. Guys, speed up lousy sailing. See you Wano Kuni. Dad, yes. At this time, with the flash of his figure, Whitebeard had already taken action. It's just a small sea area, and it can't stop a strong man like Whitebeard. He wanted to go ahead and see what was going on. If you can meet a strong man and have a fight, you can also stretch your muscles. After all, no one in the sea is my opponent. Having one more opponent is actually a happy thing for Whitebeard. At this time, Wano Kuni. Boom. Seeing Kaido rush out regardless of being injured. Lai Mu smiled slightly and was making calculations in his mind. As expected, the strong men on the sea are not vegetarians, they all have their own trump cards. This Kaido is indeed rough-skinned and thick-bodied. Normal flames really can't do anything to him. At the moment, Kaido's condition is not very good. Many of his clothes had been burned by the flames. Huh, boy, do you want to continue? Kaido stared at Lai Mu unwilling to be outdone. Accept my suggestion, I will definitely have a place for you as the second in command of Beast's pirates. Of course you have to continue. I'll give you two choices, either be captured alive by me, or be captured dead by me. Lai Mu's face was expressionless, as if announcing Kaido's future. You are so shameless. Kaido was completely furious. At this moment, Kaido's endurance has reached its limit. He bounced lightly on the ground a few times. The body also changed instantly during this process. I saw that his face and body began to distort, as if he was about to transform into a dragon. Soon, a huge green dragon rose from the ground and flew towards the sky. And the next second, it was hovering in the sky. Moreover, the size of this giant dragon has occupied half of the sky, giving everyone a sense of oppression. Xinglong Kaido's mouth already contains endless abilities. Staring at Lai Mu on the ground. The next moment, huge energy spurted out from Duo's mouth. Hot breath. Heat breath is the highest attack move in the blue dragon form. Kaido breathes heat breath from his mouth. The 2.6 attack range is several kilometers. It is very powerful and can evaporate a mountain in an instant. The sudden appearance of the flame beam was like a laser, rushing toward Lai Mu at extremely fast speeds. And the terrifying energy seemed to destroy everything in its path. Even a big mountain will be bombarded without a trace. And at this time, facing this range, Lai Mu didn't panic at all. Then it depends on whether your flame is stronger or the temperature of my flame is stronger. 400 years ago, there was a dragon horse holding a handful of autumn water. He killed a flying dragon in anger and became Wano Kuni's sword god. Now, my Ryujin Jaka is as powerful as it is powerful. It's more than enough to kill a Kaido of yours. Everything in the world is reduced to ashes. Ryujin Jaka. Hiss. In a moment, the flames on Ryujin Jaka's sword gathered together. The blade of Ryujin Jaka seemed to have absorbed all the flames and became dilapidated. Rust. Burn marks. Withered. At this moment, Ryujin Jaka's whole body is wrapped in a strong aura of time. The wisp of gray smoke floating at the tip of the knife was isolated from the surrounding air. Deathly gray. Like the gray fluorescent light in the dark night. It makes people feel that this wisp of smoke steaming upward seems to be something other than this world. Remnant Fire Taito East Rising Sun Blade. .076. Kill the flying dragon and become the Wanokuni Sword God. 076. Kill the flying dragon and become the Wanokuni Sword God. Ah, everyone, run away immediately. This move of Kaido Phylong is enough to destroy a town. Everyone is watching this battle, watching the Azure Dragon Kaido in the sky use his heat breath. That terrifying flame seemed to destroy everything. At this time, no matter how high the temperature is, everyone's hearts are cold. It's terrible. In the sky, there was such a big ball of flames that it was going to destroy everything. It was scary to look at it. Too strong. The flying dragon in the sky is so powerful. To be able to use such a powerful move. Run. The warriors watching around them fled and shouted loudly. For a moment, the whole scene was in chaos. Yesterday, there were bottomless potholes first. Now we have to face the destroyed town again. The people of Wanokuni think what evil they have done. Why should we encounter such a blow? At this time, the pirates of Beasts pirates also gathered together, with fear on everyone's face. Although everyone knows that flying in the sky is his own Governor Kaido. However, every time I see it, I feel scared. Creatures like dragons are born with a strong sense of oppression. Everyone, retreat immediately, the governor is going to be angry. No one can pull off this move, no one. Quinn saw that Kaido was besieged before and was ready to help. However, after seeing Kaido use the move of heat breath, he immediately turned around and ran away without any hesitation. He knew the power of Kaido's heat breath very well. Even if it is a huge mountain range, it will only end up being evaporated when it encounters heat. Moreover, the scope of the heat breath is extremely large. If you stay here, you will only be implicated alive. There is no distinction between friend and foe, and there is no telling whether we can get out alive. Therefore, running away is the right way. This is not cowardice, but wit. Walking is the best option and the only way to escape. While escaping, Quinn turned his head and glanced at Lai Mu standing in the middle. This is the 4th Admiral of Naval Headquarters who beat Jack up so hard. How can you actually force Governor Kaido to this point? It's simply off the mark. He is really strong, but it's all over. Damn you. Because that Marine didn't seem to have any intention of asking for it. Then all that awaits him is death. Let's go. Quinn yelled as he ran. At this moment, the entire Beasts pirates were running rampant like rats crossing the street. And it was at this time. A huge figure instantly appeared in front of Quinn and others, and it felt like even their line of sight was blocked. And this man stood in front of a group of pirates, blocking Quinn's way. After seeing clearly the face of the person who came, Quinn suddenly trembled with fright. I saw that he had a crescent-shaped white beard that curved upwards on his face, his cheeks protruded as if he were holding 2 betel nuts, and his long golden hair was draped on his thick neck, matching the iconic smile. It's none other than Whitebeard, Edward Newgate, the greatest man on the sea. Whitebeard. For a moment, the Beasts pirates were stunned. Quinn was also confused. Although Quinn has a high prestige among the Beasts pirates, and his usual behavior is very fierce. He is a strong man, and his subordinates are all afraid of him, thinking that he is a disaster. However, facing the strongest man in the world like Whitebeard still made Quinn tremble. Who is Whitebeard? The reputation spreads all over the world. Even the songs sung by children around the world describe him as scary than a monster. Nothing else. This person, for a little person like me, is really untouchable. You can beat a group of people with one fist. Whitebeard is a man that even Governor Kaido cannot afford to offend. Gula la la la. Are you a subordinate of that boy Kaido? What a bunch of worthless brats. Whitebeard held the Kong Yunchi, one of the 12 skills of the Supreme Sharp Sword, in his hand, and made a mocking sound from a high position. Yes. Quinn and others nodded like a rattle. We are Governor Kaido's subordinates. There is no way, even if the other party calls his governor, that boy, it is very disrespectful. As for himself and others, they were called worthless brats. Whitebeard's tone was very contemptuous. But there is no way. What they say is true. The man in front of me is a legendary pirate. When Kaido was at Rock's Pirate, he had just graduated from being an intern. I am just like the nail caps on other people's fingers, which can be repaired cleanly with a pair of scissors. And Whitebeard is the backbone of Rock's Pirate who is as famous as Golden Lion. And he also possesses the strongest Paramesha Devil Fruit shock fruit in the world, which is a shocker. Even laughter can cause earthquakes. However, Whitebeard saw that there were Wanokuni towns all around him, so he refrained from activating it. As this little bug in the sky Kaido. Goo la 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 la. When Rock's Pirate disbanded, it seemed like Kaido got a good thing. Whitebeard looked at the blue dragon Kaido hovering in the sky like an eagle's eyes, and said to himself. Yes. That little bug is none other than our Governor Kaido. Quinn nodded again. Mada, you, Whitebeard, are not afraid of Governor Kaido's ultimate heat breath move, but we can't. Please let us go. I dare not go around you. At this moment, Quinn and other Beasts Pirates officers were crying. However, Whitebeard didn't say anything. He still just stood in front of everyone and turned to look at Lai Mu. Quinn suddenly felt numb. Whitebeard remained motionless and said, "This is the marine boy, the user with the gravity fruit ability, the person who can summon meteorites. It seems pretty good. What do you mean by not bad? Is this the real boss of the sea? The 4th Marine Admiral can fight Governor Kaido again and again. Although he will be sprayed to death by the heat breath soon, he is already very strong. Even Jack can only get beaten in front of him. How come it seems to be pretty good from someone like Whitebeard? What a huge departure. Brother, if you want to watch a show, then go ahead and watch it. Can we bring you a stool? I just ask you to be blocked in the middle of the road. It will be difficult for us to do this." It has to be said that Whitebeard is so imposing that even standing in the middle of the road makes Quinn and others dare not take a detour. Although the current Quinn is not yet a subordinate of the 4 emperors in the future. But the strength is already very strong. It's not something that ordinary pirates can compare to. Even today's supernova captain may not have Quinn's courage. However, when you encounter someone like Whitebeard, you will only be trembling. And at this time, Kaido in the sky has spewed out heat breath. Huge flame rays spurted out instantly, and air waves scattered everything around them. Hot breath. Whoosh. The fireball was like a turtle-style qigong. With a swish sound, it rushed directly towards Lai Mu. At this time, Lai Mu had already waved his sword. Remnant Fire Taito East Rising Sun Blade. This move is a move after Bankai. It concentrates all the heat of Ryujin Jaka's flames on the tip of the sword. It does not burn or release explosive flames, but simply erases everything it touches without a trace. For an instant, time in the surrounding space seemed to freeze. There was only a mediocre one-shot attack. The next second, the fireball was already coming. And the second before coming into contact with Lai Mu, it began to differentiate. The flame began to be extinguished little by little without a trace. Question mark question mark question mark question mark question mark question mark. At this moment, Kaido was completely confused. Could it be that my heat breath has no power and I can't spray it to Lai Mu's position? However, as the heat breath flame was consumed step by step, the power of the residual fire sword, East Rising Sun Blade, began to overwhelm the situation. For a moment, Kaido's blue dragon eyes were wide open. Dangerous smell. Oops. What kind of power is this that can wipe out everything it touches without a trace? If 503 himself takes this blow, will he be wiped out without leaving any trace? Impossible. Kaido felt his heart suddenly stopped and he couldn't even feel the time. He can only rely on his long-standing fighting instinct to launch the most fishy armament hockey defense. Immediately, new dragon scales began to grow on the abdomen of Kaido's green dragon form. Layer by layer, it becomes thicker. At this time, the armed colors were all covered. This part of the body has suddenly turned black. At this moment, Kaido is no longer a green dragon, but a black dragon. Brush. An invisible sword light flashed. Kaido, who was already in a daze, was immediately shocked by the severe pain. It hurts, it hurts. Ah, a huge wound covered the entire Qinglong's abdomen. Countless blood sprayed out. Swish, brush, brush. Soon, the sky around Qinglong Kaido will be dyed red with blood. The blood fell like a heavy rain. The next second, everyone looked at the sky in horror. I saw that the frightening heat flame disappeared, and there was only the figure of a giant dragon in the sky. Falling straight down. Zizi's Dragon Slayer Samurai. We Wano-kuni have another dragon-slaying warrior. Oh my god. What did I see? He is the god of swords. God of swords. Wano-kuni in. There has only ever been one sword god. Because 400 years ago, Ryoma killed a flying dragon in anger and became the god of swords. After that, no one in Wano-kuni, no, in the entire world to be precise, dared to call himself the sword god. Generally, they are only called swordsman, and great swordsman. The ultimate swordsman is the great swordsman, and the title god of swords can only be passed down in legends. And now, among Wano-kuni, after 400 years, a sword god appears again. He killed the flying dragon in the sky. Saved the town of Wano-kuni. .077. Send Kaido to meet the Golden Lion. Received invitation from Whitebeard's son. 077. Send Kaido to meet the Golden Lion. Received an invitation from Whitebeard's son. Dragon slaying warrior. This is a miracle. Seeing this scene, countless Wano-kuni residents were completely frantic. When the battle was over, they ran out from all corners. Soon, people gathered around to watch, because the flying dragon had been chopped down, and everyone wanted to see what kind of creature the flying dragon would be. At the same time, Wano-kuni has no fear of the warrior who slayed the flying dragon, because Wano-kuni's dragon-slaying warrior was the patron saint of Wano-kuni in history. In other words, as long as you kill the flying dragon, you will be your big brother. In their eyes, the central figure of the target is Lai Mu. And that, the flying dragon in the sky that was chopped down. At this moment, as Kaido fell vertically from the sky, the huge body destroyed a whole street. Countless tiles and bricks flew up, and the dust and smoke completely dissipated, but no one cared about this loss. This is the embodiment of the legend. 400 years later, a dragon-slaying warrior appears again among the Wano-kuni, becoming the Wano-kuni sword god. Many warriors knelt down one after another, as if to welcome the new king. Lord Sword God, please protect Wano-kuni. At this time, Quinn and the younger brothers were all G. His boss was actually beheaded. Moreover, the blood has turned the entire street red. That's dragon blood. Ever since Quinn and others joined the Beast's pirates, no one has seen Kaido injured. But now, the huge wound in Kaido's blue dragon form makes people feel frightened just looking at it. Lord Governor, has he been defeated? Can he get up again? With the governor's physique, he should be able to recover quickly and still have the strength to fight, right? The Beast's pirates were completely confused. There were many question marks on everyone's head, but the most common emotion was fear. If there is no Kaido boss, then the entire pirate group has lost its backbone. Whether to disband, find another way to join another pirate group, or become king on your own are all issues that need to be considered. However, if Kaido is really killed, then Wano Kuni cannot stay in this place. The samurai here are really terrible. On the side, Tien Yushi stared blankly at the scene in front of her. She had no idea that such a thing as dragon slaying was happening clearly in front of her eyes. Extremely shocking. The admiration for Lai Mu has once again increased. Lord Lai Mu, he killed the flying dragon in the sky and became a warrior loved by the Wano Kuni people. A warrior who really has the ability to found a country for Wano Kuni must be deeply loved by the people of Wano Kuni. Wano Kuni is good at martial arts, especially swordsman, and has some blind worship. Now that Lai Mu has completed the achievement of slaying the dragon, Master Lai Mu's prestige in Wano Kuni will be greater than all the Great Falls. From now on, he will be a welcome guest to all the Wano Kuni families. And let's talk about Whitebeard Newgate. This outsider has just arrived in Wano Kuni. Seeing this scene, Whitebeard Newgate also frowned. Although Whitebeard had always looked down on Kaido during the Rocks Pirates, Whitebeard had to admit that this kid still had some strength, and he was considered a high-end combat power among the Rocks Pirates. He is not at the same level as his sons. Moreover, after Rocks Pirate was disbanded, he later obtained Zone, Fish Fruit, Phantasmal Beast Species, and Blue Dragon form. Top-notch Devil Fruit. Kaido's strength should be improved to a higher level. However, he had just arrived at Wano Kuni and saw Kaido being killed by that marine. Was it because Kaido's strength had declined or because that marine was too powerful? There's something incredible about Whitebeard. Could it be that, as he imagined, this marine soldier could be on a par with the Golden Lion in the naval battle of Atwal? In this regard, Whitebeard looked at Lai Mu and paid more attention to it. What a monster brat. There is such a powerful being in marine. I can't even imagine how powerful he will be in the future. How about solving this hidden danger now? Whitebeard thought, then shook his head and looked at Kaido again. Gula la la la. Kaido, this worthless boy, please don't die. However, they were still disappointed. After Kaido fell, it was as if he was dead and there was no struggle at all. Kaido lay on the ground, motionless. Just, after a brief moment, Kaido's blue dragon form completely disappeared. The huge dragon gradually shrank in size, its scales slowly receded, and finally turned into a human form, looking up at the sky. Kaido's eyes are open, but he has no ability to move. He couldn't even feel any pain. I just felt a bit chilly in the chest of my body, as if all the internal organs inside had been taken out, and my empty chest was as silent as the underworld. Moreover, Kaido has completely lost the ability to move at this moment, and cannot even move a finger. He doesn't understand why. Why can the opponent destroy his strongest weapon with just a simple blow, while his flesh and blood is as if it was dug away at the speed of light? This feeling is very much like death. After obtaining the blue dragon form of the phantom beast species, Kaido completely expanded. He felt defensive, resistant to all attacks in the world. Therefore, he tried going up mountains of swords and seas of fire, but in the end, he was not harmed at all. But now, Kaido lowered his eyes and looked at his wound. This wound ran from the collarbone to his waist, and the ribs on his chest were exposed. The wound is terribly deep. At this moment, Kaido himself has no confidence to survive. The hatred for Lai Mu further intensified. If you can survive, you must take revenge. Also at this time, on Lai Mu's side, an apple rolled out from nowhere, shook, and stopped at Lai Mu's feet. Looking at this pink apple, as bright as Wano Kuni's sakura flower, Lai Mu couldn't help thinking. He knew that when the eater dies, the devil fruit will escape from the body of the esper and then attach itself to nearby fruits. If Kaido dies now, then there is a chance that devil fruit, a phantom beast in the form of a blue dragon, will be attached to the apple. But this chance is very low. In fact, the reason is very simple. There are so many fruits in Wano Kuni. But at the same time, there are so many fruits outside of Wano Kuni. If the devil fruit escapes, it will float away invisibly. It is not a 100% principle of proximity. It may choose on its own. Therefore, under such circumstances, Lai Mu suddenly realized something. If you put a fruit in your own Kamui space, and then kill the esper in Kamui space. In this case, doesn't the ability or soul in devil fruit have no choice? Thinking of this, Lai Mu collected some fruits and transferred them directly to Kamui space in case of emergency. And another instant later, Lai Mu came to the dying Kaido. Now, Kaido looked pale and motionless. But if he gets treatment, he will definitely survive. But now Lai Mu regrets it. Because under his observation haki, he clearly knew that the only thing on his mind at this moment was revenge. Such a rebellious boy is a hidden danger if he is taken as a subordinate. Although I can't make any waves, it is a trouble. Lai Mu just hates trouble. He walked straight to Kaido and pressed his hand directly on Kaido's body. Kamui imprisonment. For a second, Kaido's eyes turned frightened. He felt Kamui's suction, and his body felt like a soft rubber band being pulled, which was a precursor to entering a different space. At this moment, Kaido kept growling from his mouth. Are you still Captain Rocks? Why, Captain, I didn't betray you. And just when Kaido was about to lose consciousness, he heard Lai Mu whispering. What rocks? I was never rocks. Golden Lion Shiki said this, and you said the same. Why don't you stay in the same space together and have a good talk? Kaido, cherish your last moments. The next second. Driven by Kamui, Kaido's body immediately disappeared from the real world. Kaido now has no resistance, and his weapon color cannot be used. It does not take any effort to suck him into the Kamui space. It's as simple as catching a turtle in a jar. At this moment, Lai Mu looked at the empty ground and was already thinking about who to give the devil fruit, the blue dragon form of the fish fruit phantom beast. Lai Mu would definitely not be willing to leave it to Marine. With such a top-notch devil fruit, there is no need to use it to promote people who have nothing to do with you. As her own woman, Tianyushi is actually a good choice, but she already possesses the Paramesha time fruit, and one person cannot eat two devil fruits. Momosuke. If Gion is not loyal to himself, but is only loyal to naval headquarters, there is no need. But, turning Gion into a dragon girl should have a unique flavor. After all, Gion itself is as long as any country. If even Gion is excluded, could it be that if he ate the fish fruit, the phantom beast in the blue dragon form, Lai Mu himself has not eaten the devil fruit, so he is qualified to eat the devil fruit. However, Lai Mu can completely replace other devil fruit abilities with the system without losing the ability to swim or even leaving a weakness of being afraid of seawater. Thinking of this, Lai Mu no longer thought about it. Prepare to leave. The admiring eyes of the people of Wano Kuni. He was in no mood to echo. Wong Nuo's at this time. A huge figure appeared in front of Lai Mu. He held a huge naginata in his hand, a Yanzuki sword. Instead, look at appearance. It was Whitebeard, the future strongest man. Edward Newgate. As expected, the strong man has a strong sense of oppression, which is not comparable to the current Kaido. In the world of pirates, strong men are taller and extremely strong, and Whitebeard happens to be such a person. Especially the crescent moon beard under the nose, which brings out the whole person's temperament. Goo la 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 la. Lai Mu boy, you really have magical space power. Seeing Kaido being sucked into space, Whitebeard immediately guessed the only scenario. That means whether it is Kaido or Golden Lion. They were all imprisoned by the marine boy in front of them. The spatial ability used by Lai Mu is similar to Captain Rock's devil fruit, but there are some differences. An incredible strong man emerged from Marine, Kwang. Whitebeard sighed. Lai Mu felt a little confused when he saw that the person coming was Whitebeard. It's not that he is afraid of the strongest man on the sea. Instead, it seems that I have come into conflict with the remnants of Rock's pirate, which is very embarrassing. Can people still live a simple life in an ordinary way? At this time, a broad palm came from Whitebeard's depth. Boy Marine, do you want to be my Whitebeard's son? Upon hearing this, Lai Mu immediately became angry. Roll, .078. He is exactly the same as Captain Rocks. 078. He is exactly the same as Captain Rocks. Are you kidding? Get away. Lai Mu looked disgusted. Gula la la la. Whitebeard wasn't angry either. Lai Mu is indeed a formidable enemy. Whitebeard looked at Lai Mu solemnly. However, at this time, Kaido's subordinates had already rushed over. After not seeing Kaido at the scene, Quinn and others were already desperate. They surrounded Lai Mu with their mouths, but they were all trembling while surrounded. Quote. Question mark quote. Where is Governor Kaido? Quinn looked surprised. I saw Governor Kaido's green dragon form fall down directly. And now, Governor Kaido has disappeared. What is going on? Originally, everyone hoped that Kaido could stand up again and defeat Lai Mu, but now that he is gone, there is no way to defeat him. In other words, the governor of Beast's pirates has been defeated by the Marine in front of him. The fourth Marine Admiral who even Governor Kaido couldn't defeat. What's the point of coming here? For a moment, the members of Beast's pirates became a little overwhelmed. Let's hit. You definitely can't beat him, it's no different than sending him to death. Don't fight. He is a pirate, and it would be inconsistent with the style of a pirate to not say some words of revenge. However, Quinn and others suddenly had an idea. I don't think this is a shame. Now that the governor has disappeared, what's the point of staying here? Chat with Whitebeard and Lai Mu. Isn't it awkward? After figuring it out, Quinn and others immediately ran away and fled in all directions. Lai Mu didn't chase him either. After all, the Whitebeard in front of him is the thorny problem. Whitebeard saw that the Beast's pirates had no fighting spirit and no thoughts. He originally planned to call his sons to fight with the Beast's pirates and grow up under them. Now, Kaido people are gone. The cadres under his command had no intention of fighting, and their desire to fight was immediately dashed. The arrival of the Whitebeard pirates would no longer make any sense. In this regard, Whitebeard said, there is a desert island 20 nautical miles east of Wano Kuni. I will wait for you there. Now that most of the town of Wano Kuni Flower City has been destroyed, if the fighting continues, the entire Wano Kuni will collapse. Whitebeard is not willing to fight Lai Mu here. Moreover, for a strong man like Lai Mu, if he wants to fight happily, he still needs to find a fighting situation. Don't let me down, Marine brat. After saying that, Whitebeard disappeared. At this time, Tianyushi had already rushed over. After seeing that Lai Mu was not injured again, he felt relieved. Master Lai Mu, you have become Wano Kuni's dragon-slaying warrior. Dragon-slaying warrior. Lai Mu still knows something about the dragon-slaying warriors, but compared to Wano Kuni's tradition passed down from generation to generation, she still doesn't understand it. Isn't he just a great dragon-slaying swordsman? Is there anything special about this name? At this time, Tianyushi began to explain patiently. In general, Lai Mu became Wano Kuni's hero after slaying the dragon. Wano Kuni has had a profound connection with carp since its history. And, every few hundred years, a carp leaps over the dragon gate and transforms into a dragon in Wano Kuni. However, those dragons that transformed into carps were both good and evil, and the tradition left behind was the title of dragon-slaying Takeda. As long as you slay the flying dragon in the sky, Wano Kuni's warriors will show you the greatest respect. Dragon-slaying warrior is the highest title of Wano Kuni. Under Tianyushi's introduction, Lai Mu also clearly understood how beneficial it would be to defeat Kaido. Master Lai Mu, I believe you will found a country for Wano Kuni. Lai Mu nodded. Due to a combination of circumstances, it was almost a matter of course. Naturally, he would not let this opportunity go easily. Of course, you behave so well, and it's all for your sake. Tianyu's face turned red and she began to look forward to the night infinitely. By the way, Master Lai Mu, who was that giant just now? That's still Whitebeard, the man known as the strongest man on the sea, and the shock fruit user with the power to destroy the world. Ah, Master Lai Mu, can you not go? You don't have to go today. Lai Mu took a deep breath, put Ryujin Jaka back into the scabbard, and walked towards the street with Tianyushi. At this time, Gion had appeared aside. When Lai Mu was fighting the dragon, Gion already knew that Lai Mu was in trouble again. Lai Mu is also really good at it. No matter who the other party is. However, in the end Kaido was defeated and even disappeared. Now that Kaido has been defeated, Kaido's information is no longer important to Marine, and his mission in Wano Kuni is completed. Nowadays, it is better to follow Lai Mu. Seeing the performance of Lai Mu and Tianyushi Fa, Gion was a little confused. Now, even if Gion's reaction is slow, it can be seen that the relationship between the two is extraordinary. No way. Do the two already have a substantial relationship? This would be terrible. Lai Mu defeated the Mammoth Jack, killed the Blue Dragon Kaido with one slash, and defeated the Golden Lion Man. Such miracles are the most admired objects of little girls. Even Gion couldn't help but have wild thoughts about Lai Mu. In her heart, if Lai Mu had even taken the initiative, Gion felt that she would have been left in his hands long ago. However, it seems to be too late now. Tianyushi, a woman who came halfway, got there first. For a moment, Gion felt a little sad thinking about this. Seeing the arrival of Gion, Lai Mu had guessed her mood from what she had seen. It was strange that after knowing her relationship with Amazuki Toki, she still seemed ready to make a move even wanting to join in. What's even more strange is that Tianyushi doesn't seem to care. I still have something to share. No, is your charm so great? Or is it because this is the world of pirates, where the strong is king and can be worshipped by everyone? What Lai Mu didn't know was that his swordsmanship had an irresistible charm on the two female swordsmen. Especially during the journey, the sense of security shown makes people want to rely on it. At this moment, Lai Mu is not a fool. Since the two beauties have taken the initiative, it is not good to hide them, so it is better to show their cards. Touching the hair on Gion's head, Lai Mu said, Gion is here. There's no need to do the mission anymore, right? Gion instinctively wanted to resist, but after hesitation, he did not refuse and nodded. Lai Mu, you are such a monster. You came to get Kaido and you defeated him. By the way, why didn't I see Kaido? He was obviously beaten before. Cut it down. I locked him and the Golden Lion in my space. Lai Mu showed a meaningful smile. With the top-notch observation haki, who can read people's hearts, Lai Mu has begun to act unscrupulously, and now it's like testing Gion's true reaction. As expected, Gion was greatly shocked at this moment. It turned out that the Golden Lion did not disappear, but was imprisoned in the space by Lai Mu. It was Lai Mu who imprisoned the Golden Lion privately. Now, there's one more. This is a felony in naval headquarters. Suddenly, Gion's heart was filled with confusion, shock, disbelief, and deep concern for Lai Mu. However, fortunately, there are no plans to make the secret public. This made Lai Mu feel a little proud. Gion, you will keep my secret, right? After a long pause, Gion sighed. Lai Mu, I don't know what you are planning, but please don't do anything extreme. I will treat this matter as if I don't know about it and will not report it to the headquarters. Okay, let's go to the Tianyu family and teach you some modern education knowledge later. Meanwhile, Kamui is the king of space. Golden Lion just picked up the apple on the ground and was still cursing in his heart. Lai Mu is too much. I haven't prepared food for several days. Now I'm throwing a bunch of fruit in. Did you mistake yourself, a great pirate, for a beggar? And the Golden Lion was about to pick up an apple and eat it. I saw a fluctuation in the space, and a huge figure fell into it. It's that old acquaintance, Kaido. Golden Lion threw away the apples again and again. Kaido. Shiki. Kaido is dying. After seeing the Golden Lion Shiki, I was surprised. The moment he entered Kamui's space, Kaido clearly heard that Lai Mu imprisoned the Golden Lion. Unexpectedly, this was actually true. People like Golden Lion have been imprisoned by Lai Mu. But he was so overestimating his abilities that he even thought of accepting him as his subordinate. It's better now, but the scar on my chest seems to never heal. Gia ha 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 ha, you were locked up by that kid too. When I saw this ability, I was shocked. It looks like, Gia ha ha ha. You seem to be dying. The golden lion floated on Kaido's head and started talking continuously. Finally, an acquaintance came in, so of course I wanted to chat more. I don't know why the outside world is spreading the news now. They probably think that the golden lion has been defeated and has disappeared. But Kaido doesn't have the time to chat with golden lion right now. Kaido said with difficulty. Isn't he really Captain Rock's? No, I have thought about Lai Mu's ability for a long time. It is not Captain Rock's devil fruit ability, but the structure is similar. Golden Lion raised his head and looked at the endless gray space above his head. At this time, Golden Lion has figured out the situation. Lai Mu is still a big monster. If you mess with him, you will only get a bitter pill. This space is too pervert. He is truly the most powerful man I have ever seen since Captain Rock's. Although he is a Marine now, Marine can no longer tolerate him. Golden Lion Shiki continued to add, I have analyzed that his thoughts cannot be restrained by Marine, only the sea can accommodate him. In response, Kaido smiled bitterly. So what, we can never get out of this kind of space. In the past, Captain Rock's was willing to let us out, but now, Lai Mu is the enemy, it doesn't matter anymore. I'm going to die anyway. Maybe if you want to Lai Mu beg for mercy, he will let you go. How can it be? The condition I said is surrender. The Golden Lion looked at Kaido's eyes with his brows. It has been 2 months since Golden Lion came to Kamui space. These 2 months. Here, he thought about many things. The first problem is to get out of Kamui space. However, he knew that he could not escape from such a space with his own abilities. Then, the only other possibility left is for me to wait for Lai Mu to let him out. But surrender. Is it possible? You know, in the subsequent plot, the Golden Lion was imprisoned for so long, but he did not lose his fighting spirit to dominate the sea. In the end, he broke his legs imprisoned by the sea stone and became a slave. The first prisoner to escape from prison in Impel Down. Coupled with Golden Lion's unruly personality, and having just emerged from the confinement of rocks, and now asking him to surrender to Lai Mu, it would be difficult to reach the sky. What really shakes Golden Lion is not the endless imprisonment, nor the fear of death. But, Lai Mu may have the potential to surpass rocks. Looking at the huge and unhealable wound on Kaido's body, Golden Lion admitted that he was a little shaken. Golden Lion wants to escape from prison because he feels that no one on the sea can be in his eyes. But now, that person seems to have appeared. Haha, that's your business. Kaido was not interested in Golden Lion's proposal at all. He just looked at the fruits scattered on the ground. Kaido felt cold. Wait a minute. Are these apples? Gia ha 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 ha. I originally thought Lai Mu was prepared for me, but after seeing you, I completely understood that he wanted to trap the devil in the space and then attach it to the fruit. Superior. In this situation, he is exactly the same as Captain Rock's at that time. 079. Oden recognized Lai Mu as his eldest brother and apologized to his sister-in-law Tianyu. 079. Oden recognized Lai Mu as his eldest brother and apologized to his sister-in-law Tianyu. For the strong men on the sea, they will only surrender to the strong ones. Like Garp and Sengoku, Golden Lion feels that it is 55% better than them, or even better than them. Plus, he thinks Marine is nothing more than AB************ D of the World War, government. Therefore, Golden Lion has always had a condescending and contemptuous attitude towards the powerful men on the sea. Perhaps, only people like Roger can make Golden Lion take it seriously. But now, Lai Mu imprisoned himself in the space, and Kaido killed him until he was on the verge of death. Golden Lion speculates that Lai Mu is no longer what it used to be and definitely has strong strength. And his life is also in the other party's hands. Moreover, after seeing Lai Mu last time, Lai Mu said he would let Golden Lion make the choice. He knows what this sentence means. Or, die in Kamui space and donate the lion fruit. Or, you can only follow Lai Mu's orders. The only thing missing now is opportunity. An opportunity for Lai Mu to make the big pirate surrender. Listening to Shiki's remarks, Kaido couldn't help but recall his time on Rock's pirate. At that time, it was because Captain Rock's was too powerful that the entire pirate group succumbed to his majesty. Rather than joining the Rock's pirate, it was better to say that they were forced to board the ship. Kaido grinned and said out of breath, Shiki, it seems you haven't learned your lesson. We just escaped from Captain Rock's clutches, are you going to do it again? I mean, are you going to become Lai Mu's subordinate and become a marine? According to all your past evil deeds, no one will accept you. Shiki asked rhetorically, how does he compare to Rock's? Kaido looked at the wounds on his body. There was no blood at the moment, as if the flesh had disappeared out of thin air. I don't know about his character, but in terms of combat power, I think they are almost the same. Even my top defense can be easily broken by him. Quote. Isn't that right? When I first met him on Kara Island, he was just a swordsman apprentice, but the second time we met he became a great swordsman, and even the weapon color reached the top level, and the third time. He has awakened the top conquerors. And, most importantly, he won't stay in Marine for long. There is no airtight wall in the world. He will be expelled from Marine soon. At this moment, Golden Lion clenched his fist tightly. The whole person stood up. His eyes suddenly became sharp. There is no choice, I will wait for him to come to space again and propose a duel. If I win, it means that he is just showing up. If I lose, it is better to become his subordinate than to be imprisoned here. There is no hope here. Maybe he really is the next Joey boy. And all Shiki heard was Kaido's weak cough. Ahem, Joey boy, he. At this time, Wano-kuni, because of his family. After 800 years of ups and downs, the Tianyu family is no longer the first family in Wano-kuni. Instead, it is the daimyo family that serves the shogun family together with Fugetsu, Ugetsu, Shimotsuki, and the Kurozumi family, which is equivalent to a subsidiary of the main family. Although the Tianyu family is still one of the daimyo families. But the status is no longer what it used to be. With the arrival of Lai Mu and Tenzuki Tokijin, Tianyu's house has become very lively at this moment. The leader is an old samurai, about 80 years old, with a round head, named Tianyu Lindong, and he is also the head of the Tianyu family at this time. Knife, sword god, first, ancestor. Tianyu Lindong had no idea that the ancestral precepts left by the family 800 years ago would be fully realized. Tensuki is the princess of Wano-kuni 800 years ago. What's even more shocking is that this time she is accompanied by Wano-kuni's new sword god. It was this samurai who killed the flying dragon in the flower capital. And Tianyu Lindong is also a swordsman, seeing Ryujin Jaka and Kanshi Masamune on Lai Mu's waist. Tianyu Lindong was shocked. Kanshi Masamune is a family heirloom sword that was snatched away by the big pirate Golden Lion more than 10 years ago. I have never seen Ryujin Jaka before, but judging from its power, it must be impressive. From the perspective of a swordsman, Ryujin Jaka's level transcends the era, and his level is above Kanshi Masamune. Ancestor. When Tianyu was called Tianyu Lindong, he felt a little uncomfortable. Actually, I am only 19 years old, you don't need to call me my ancestor. After checking the codes and portraits spanning 800 years, the Tianyu family has no doubts about Tianyu who has traveled through time. Moreover, the Tianyu family also has an inherited mission, which is to unconditionally cooperate with Tianyu to complete the unknown plan. After talking for an hour, everyone has fully accepted this fact. At this moment, the entire Tianyu family became busy. Come here, prepare the special clothes of the Tianyu family for our ancestors, no, for Miss Tianyu. Miss Gion Swordsman, let's make arrangements together too. Also, Master Sword God must arrange it according to the highest standards. Also, arrange the 3 best rooms. After Lai Mu and Gion came to the Tianyu family, neither took the initiative to tell their origins, so that Wuyong Lingdong thought that they were also distinguished guests from 800 years ago. 3 rooms. It's noisy. It was not easy to gather together, and Lai Mu could see with his knowledge that both Tianyushi and Gion had expectations in their hearts. How could you waste this great opportunity? No, just arrange a room. Lai Mu immediately said negatively about the arrangement of the Tianyu family on the opposite side. Sword God Sama, a room. What's going on? Tianyu Lindong thought he heard wrongly. He thought that Sword God Sama and this Gion lady still had important tasks to do and couldn't stay at Wuyong's house for a long time. However, Lai Mu said firmly again, yes. 1 room. As Lai Mu persisted, Tianyushi and Gion all blushed and lowered their heads. Even a fool can see this. The relationship between the 3 of them has reached the most intimate level. Is this how the sword god is treated at Wano-kuni? Whether it is now or 800 years ago, it is the same. Tianyu Lindong did not expect that the princess of Wano-kuni's Tianyu family would also worship the sword god so much. Did such a tradition exist 800 years ago? Understood. I will make arrangements for Master Sword God now. Tianyu Lindong was shocked at first, and then understood immediately. Come here, arrange a room immediately. The room should be the biggest. The bed should also be the biggest. Tianyu's entire family is his own family. Therefore, we all know a little about the predictions made by the Tianyu family 800 years ago. They all know that traveling between the sky and the moon is to help a certain person complete a task. And now, based on the performance of the 3 people, Lai Mu, the sword god, must be the backbone of the 3. In other words, rather than saying that the Tianyu family belongs to Tianyu, it would be better to say that the entire family is serving Lai Mu, the sword god. It is indeed the dragon-slaying samurai, the sword god of Wano-kuni. At the same time, the news that the sword god killed the flying dragon has spread throughout the streets of Wano-kuni. Lai Mu's prestige has also been raised to the highest level. After all, a sword god only appeared in hundreds of years, so Wano-kuni should treat Lai Mu as a hero. At this moment, because of the street, I saw with my own eyes that the god of swords stood on this stone brick, gently waved the famous sword in his hand, and killed the blue flying dragon. That slash was simple and unpretentious, without even any sword energy fluctuations, but it not only consumed the flames breathed out by the green dragon, but also made a big hole in the green dragon's belly. Did you see that river? Why is it red? Because it's dyed red with dragon's blood. The sword god has gone to Tianyu's family. Does the sword god belong to Tianyu's family? No, you are wrong. The Tianyu family has already released the news. They will do their best and the entire family will serve the sword god. The Tianyu family belongs to the sword god. That's right, I just passed by Tianyu's house and heard about this. The Tianyu family is our Wano-kuni daimyo family. Now that the sword god is in charge again, we are all Wano-kuni's lucky ones. With the news of Wano-kuni, Lai Mu once again gained a lot of attention and admiration. And at the same time, Wano-kuni Ghost Island, deep in a cave. Quinn has returned here, packed his bags, and brought a group of younger brothers with him, ready to replan his pirate career. Please give me flowers. It might as well be looking for a job. It might as well be to establish a pirate group on your own. Quinn had no clue, but it doesn't affect him at all. I want to leave this hellish place. Wano-kuni. Jack, Governor Kaido, was defeated and imprisoned. He doesn't know whether he is alive or dead. Jack's eyes twitched, his face full of shock. What? Who did it? Oden. It's the Marine 4th Admiral who knocked you to the bottom of the sea. He personally cut off Governor Kaido's blue dragon form and captured him. We beasts pirates are finished. Jack felt numb. What kind of existence did I provoke? Brother Quinn, can you take me away? My bones are broken all over my body and I can't move. Sorry, the cost is a bit too much, and you are overweight and can't carry it. Goodbye. After saying that, Quinn left with large and small bags on his back. Sir Quinn, take me with you. The doctor who was treating Jack rolled and crawled after him. In the dark cave, only the torches flickered. Jack lay alone on the damp stone bed, feeling cold all over. And at the same time, the largest family in Japan, the Kazuki family. Kazuki Oden was lying on a large bed, shirtless, and the stab wound on his back had been sutured. It was pulled down directly from the back of his neck to his waist, and the number of stitches reached 302, which is shocking to see. Although his life was not in danger, Oden still felt the burning pain in his back, which made him unable to sleep well all day. What? That samurai beheaded Kaido, Izo said. Yes, that samurai killed the blue dragon and saved Wano-kuni's town. The prestige now is unprecedented. Facing the reports from the retainers, Kazuki Oden's face is filled with wonder. Who is Kaido? Kazuki Oden's heart. Very clear. After all, the two of them had gone through several battles, which always ended in draws. But now, in just one day, Lai Mu beheaded Kaido. Oden would not be able to accept such a thing for a while, looking unbelievable. Blue Dragon Kaido has become his prisoner, and he does not know whether he will live or die. Izo continued to report in a low voice. There are legends throughout Wano-kuni that samurai is Wano-kuni's new. The sword god of Jin. Moreover, he is from the Tianyu family. It is said that the Tianyu family has spread the news that the entire family will serve the sword god. The name of the god of swords is more famous than anything else in Wano-kuni. It can be said that he responds to everything. No matter how stupid Kazuki Oden is, he still knows what this news means. The original Tensuke family was a subsidiary family of the Kazuki family, and they followed the Kazuki family's lead. And now with the intervention of the sword god, it is almost certain that it will be a matter of time before the Tianyu family escapes the control of the Kazuki family. It will not even take long before the entire Wano-kuni will undergo a power struggle. Alternate force. There is nothing Kazuki Oden can do. Because there is no way I can defeat that warrior of the Tianyu family. From this point of view, that beautiful woman is the young lady of the Tianyu family. No wonder there is something similar to the Tianyu family logo on her kimono. For a moment, Kazuki Oden felt a little overwhelmed and didn't know what to do. However, Oden also knows that all the key points of the incident still belong to Wano-kuni's sword god. After all, Wano-kuni is still very traditional. Only one top family is allowed to appear, and the others are all subsidiary families. Status and superiority are as binding as terms. But hundreds of years ago, when the Kazuki family seized power from the Tianyu family, this was not what they preached. If this matter is not handled properly, it will attract the revenge of Tianyu's sword god. Then the Kazuki family is likely to disappear from Wano-kuni. Kazuki Oden looked at his several retainers and began to evaluate his family's combat power. Then, he immediately shook his head. Do you want to please him and accept him as your big brother? Then, apologize to your sister-in-law. Seek their forgiveness to ease the relationship between the two families. Kazuki Oden's thoughts are getting more and more confusing, his back is burning with pain, and his scalp is numb. Go down first, I want to be quiet. 080. In front of Gion, look at the sky and the moon to see if your kung fu has improved. 080. In front of Gion, look at the sky and the moon to see if your kung fu has improved. Wano-kuni, it's evening. At this time, the streets of Wano-kuni Island are brightly lit, and the streets and alleys are filled with lanterns. It's like celebrating a major festival. During the day, Lai Mu killed the flying dragon. This is another major miracle happening hundreds of years after Wano-kuni. Wano-kuni is rich in sea stone. Kaido, the governor of the Beast's pirates, has set his base in Wano-kuni this year in order to realize his lofty ambitions. He even secretly communicated with the daimyo Kurozumi Orochi and has been trying to provoke internal strife in Wano-kuni. By the end of the war, Wano-kuni was completely destroyed and eventually occupied the entire island. The people in Wano-kuni don't know much about this matter. However, Kaido Filong's evil deeds are obvious to all. After all, Wano-kuni has always circulated the legend of the flying dragon, and most people believe that the appearance of the flying dragon is God's punishment for Wano-kuni, so that everyone is afraid of the flying dragon. And now, with the emergence of Lai Mu, the dragon-slaying warrior, the name of Wano-kuni sword god has once again become the focus of everyone's attention. God of swords. Among Wano-kuni, he is the most admired object. So, 153, the sword god slaying the dragon is a major event for the entire Wano-kuni and should be remembered. At this time, in Tianyu's house, there was a spacious room. Lai Mu put Ryujin Jaka on the table, and the reminder sounded in his mind. Ding. You have received the attention of all Wano-kuni residents worth 1,980,000 points. Ding. You have received 1,697,022 attention points from Beast's Pirates, Whitebeard Pirates, and Kazuki Oden. Ding. The attention points have met the replacement conditions. Seeing that the reward appeared again, Lai Mu was familiar with the road and directly chose to receive it. Soon, 3 rewards were issued directly. 1. Top Devil Fruit, Paramesha Op Fruit. 2. Distinguished Heavenly Gods, S-Level Mangekyo Pupil Technique. 5 million attention points can be redeemed for an engine session. Ability. Can directly invade the opponent's brain without being discovered by the opponent, modify the opponent's will, and form his own power for the host. It has a huge effect. 3. The Swordsmanship of the Two-Sword Style Great Swordsman. 4. Top Devil Fruit Logia Thunder Fruit. 5. Explosion Style Art as Patrick Star, S-Level Ninjutsu. Use attention points to replace white clay and create explosives, and the explosives themselves can evolve according to the consciousness of the caster. 6. Zanpakuto, Hozukimaru. 7. Top Observation Haki. 8. Top Armament Haki. Just like the Top Observation Haki, Lai Mu couldn't help frowning when he saw that some rewards were repeated. However, 30 rewards are a lot, and he can definitely find his favorite ability. Just like the first reward, Paramesha, Op Fruit, the ability user can create a global or hemispheric space, in which he can cut off, exchange, and splice anything at will, and even exchange 2 minds. Using Op Fruit's ability will consume the user's physical strength, and excessive use may even consume lifespan, but this side effect does not exist for Lai Mu. It is one of the all-purpose fruits that can be used in combat and healing. Moreover, because it has the ability to grant immortality to humans, it is coveted by all forces, and the world government once wanted to purchase it for 5 billion belly. This is something Lai Mu is more concerned about. It's not easy to tell at a glance. In response, Lai Mu immediately chose this reward. The second one is Distinguished Heavenly Gods. This ninjutsu is said to be able to transform a person's mind and is of great use to people, although it costs 5 million points to use it once. But it's always right to redeem it first, as you might be able to use it later. So, Lai Mu immediately chose the second reward. Third, Lai Mu was thinking between Logia Thunder Fruit and Didara's Explosion Style, but considering that Distinguished Heavenly Gods were already consuming points, and the Exploding Thunder Fruit was also capable, he got up and attacked with the Thunder Fruit. Known for its strength and speed, it can even use the expansion of electrons to open a heart net. In conjunction with his own observation haki, reading people's hearts. That is undoubtedly a huge help for Lai Mu. Choose Paramesha Op Fruit, Logia Thunder Fruit, S-Level Ninjutsu Distinguished Heavenly Gods. Ding. It has been selected. Soon, Lai Mu felt the surging power in his body. Op Fruit is to create a space and then control everything in it. This is how things are retrieved from the air and transferred. Not to mention Thunder Fruit, the best companion for long-range sniping and surveillance. With this multi-skill, Lai Mu already possesses the most powerful tomb in the world. As long as he is not double-teamed by those top warriors in the sea, he must be invincible. At this time, the reminder sounded again in Lai Mu's mind. At the same time, when it is detected that the host has completely conquered Tenyu and Gion through his personal abilities, you will see a brand new panel. Please check it carefully. Lai Mu walked to the window and looked at Wanokuni's bright lights and fireworks. There was some excitement in my heart. Panel. Now a panel actually appears. This is a brand new feature. System. Open the panel. Open black lens bracket host. Cledia D. Lai Mu close black lens bracket. Abilities. Top Conqueror's Haki, Top Observation Haki, Top Armament Haki. Open black lens bracket Devil Fruit, Gravity Fruit close black lens bracket. Possessing martial arts. Ido Ryu Great Swordsman Swordsmanship, Marine 6 Styles Great Perfection. Has physique. Iron Giant. Special abilities. Kamui, Physical Strength Replacement, Devil Fruit Awakening Seeds. Remaining follow points. 1.7 million. Those who surrender. Tensuki 100%, Gion 100%. Those who have not completely surrendered. Shiki 20%, Kaido 1%. At a glance, Lai Mu found that it was his basic situation, but with one more item. He is still a loyal person. Then, Lai Mu clicked the button behind this option to view it. Soon, the annotation popped up. It turns out that whenever someone shows signs of being loyal to themselves, they can use the panel to report it. What Lai Mu didn't expect was Golden Lion, the unruly big pirate, also has 20% surrender. Maybe it's my power that makes him despair. On the other hand, Kaido, a dying person, has 1% loyalty. It's a bit incredible. And Gion and Tensuki, he is actually 100% loyal to himself. This was a bit of a surprise to Lai Mu. It's so simple. You can say that you are completely dead set, right? Moreover, according to the system's explanation, as long as you don't do something that deeply betrays someone who is 100% loyal to you, you will basically not suffer betrayal. In addition, Lai Mu is now confident and can completely control and surrender the two of them. So, don't care too much. Soon, Lai Mu recovered from receiving the reward. At this time, Amazuki Toki and Gion had already entered the room with blushing faces. I have to say that the Tianyu family is quite wealthy. In terms of the room alone, it is the most comfortable one I have ever stayed in Lai Mu since time travel. The courtyard outside the room is small and cute, with green stone paths and deep winding paths. The interior decoration of the room is extremely luxurious, with warm tatami mats, and a hot spring directly introduced into the room, right next to the bedroom, where you can wash away your fatigue beautifully. Also, Since Amazuki Toki and Gion put on the clothes of the Amazuki family, their temperament has gone up a notch. After all, the clothes worn by Tenjutsu were brought 800 years ago and are already a bit outdated after traveling a lot, and the clothes worn by Gion when preparing to infiltrate Wano Kuni are also the clothes worn by civilians. As for now, the fabrics are all the best, and there are many accessories for the clothes. Belt yang, belt tie, belt board, belt pillow, ida tie, waist button, chest button, biwing. The whole thing looks extremely luxurious. Coupled with the looks of Toki and Gion, they look great no matter how you look at them. At this time, Tianyushi and Gion saw Lai Mu looking at themselves. Tianyu was very excited. After all, she had experienced happiness a long time ago. Blushing with anticipation. But Gion didn't feel so good. It was usually more like 4.2, and the feeling of shame lingered in my heart. Think about it, and feel a little scared. When Tianyu saw Gion pursed her lips and said nothing, she decided to help her first. After all, she was her sister. Along the way, he was taken care of by Gion, and Tianyushi could see that Gion also admired Lord Lai Mu, but he was the one who got there first. Also, Wano Kuni women don't care how many women a man has, only whether he is strong or not. Powerful. No doubt, Lai Mu is strong in all aspects. And it's incredibly strong. With the addition of Gion, it seems that the pressure on Tensuki has been alleviated. At this time, when Gion was at a loss, Tianyushi gritted his teeth, his eyes flashed, and then became determined. She approached Lai Mu with small steps, a gentle smile on her pretty face. Sir, I have thought clearly about this. I will follow you for the rest of my life. Serving your master well is the slave's first duty. With that said, Tianyushi gave a demonstration to Gion and began to sort out Lai Mu's clothes. Lai Mu directly pulled Tianyushi and pinched Tianyushi's chin. Then let me see if your kung fu has improved. Point 081. Tensuki teaches me personally, and Gion moves on his own. 081. Tianyushi teaches personally, and Gion moves on his own. Gion never expected that he would actually reach this point. Keep waiting and watching. I couldn't help it anymore. However, I wanted to come forward and join him, but I didn't know how to do it, so I was a little at a loss. Lai Mu looked at everything with a smile, and Gion's thoughts were all under his control. Shall you do it yourself this time, or shall I do it? Tianyushi simply risked his life in order to take a good lead. And, following the techniques taught by Lai Mu before, I started trying them one by one. After all, it didn't take long for someone who just became Lai Mu, and skills cannot be learned in a short time. Fortunately, Tianyu is very smart, and has a very good sense of surrender, and is willing to do anything for Lai Mu. Fortunately, Mr. Lai Mu is very tolerant. No matter whether he made a mistake or not, he patiently guided me. And he is willing to let Tianyushi try various methods. Therefore, under such circumstances, Tianyushi slowly became more and more bold. No way. The time travel between Tianyu and she was exactly the person in front of him. He is the Dinghai Shenzhen. The core concept of time travel between the sky and the moon. Just obey him unconditionally, obey the man who founded the country for Wano Kuni. There was no hesitation. Tianyu decisively bit into a piece of braised silver carp and ate it in big mouthfuls. Gion, on the other hand, looked a little confused. Isn't the mouth used for eating sushi? What the hell is eating fish? It's incredible, when did the mouth have this special function? It's completely different from what I imagined. Isn't it just a matter of having dinner and it's over? Is there such an important dining ritual? Time. Gion feels like some of the worldview has been reversed. This is modern educational knowledge. Gion, you can learn it in the future. Since you have joined in, let teacher Shi demonstrate it for you personally. Hurry up and keep up. It's not good to be hungry at the dinner table. Lai Mu could completely see Gion's thoughts and thought, even though Gion only focuses on kendo, he can also learn other things quickly with his intelligence. At this time, Lai Mu touched Tianyushi's head, and then said comfortably, you don't have to stop, I have no problem at all. Today's dinner is full of calories and nutrients, but I can completely digest it. I ate the silver carp during the sky and the moon, and I was very happy. It was so delicious. Sir, slave, home, good. Sure enough, it is the most enjoyable when there is food. The calories contained in high-grade food can not only wash away the fatigue, but also give people a great sense of satisfaction, which is something that Tianyu has never experienced while wandering in time and space. Lai Mu looked at the porcelain kettle on the table. Gion, I'm a little thirsty. Pour me a glass of water. Okay. Hearing Lai Mu's request, Gion felt as if he had encountered an amnesty and finally had something to do. Just watching others eat dinner and doing nothing myself. Qian looked at it, a little at a loss. Now there is a chance to pour water. At that moment, Gion walked directly to the table and prepared to pour water. And at this time, Lai Mu said again with a hint of laxity in his tone. At the dinner table, you should also pay attention to etiquette when pouring water. The weather is very hot. I see that you are sweating all over. When eating silver carp hot pot, you don't need to wear so much. If you feel uncomfortable, I will feel uncomfortable too. After saying that, Lai Mu also gestured to Tianyushi with his eyes. He is indeed a smart person. Tianyushi raised his head, his eyes were gentle, and he understood immediately. While saving the silver carp, she personally demonstrated to Gion. Then, after wiping the sweat with a towel, he threw it aside. When Gion thought about it, now that he had entered the dining table, the room without air conditioning was indeed a bit hot. In this environment, it is inevitable that people will feel dry. At this moment, Gion no longer refused. Just throw the towel aside. The next second, he started passing water to Lai Mu. Lai Mu showed a smile. The silver carp will lose its vitality if it stays out of the water for too long. You two can come together and use water to revive the big silver carp. Then, the vitality of the silver carp is up to you, my two Ans. King. Yes, Master Lai Mu. Sister Gion, after watching it for so long, you should have learned. Don't worry, Master Lai Mu was very tolerant when I didn't have a medical certificate, and you will be too. Don't be afraid, Gion, just come here. The sky and the moon are understood in seconds. He moved directly to make way for a space. Let Gion also contribute. Participate in the rescue of giant silver carp. Really? He was treated by two medical personnel. The big silver carp immediately became lively and energetic, like a giant dragon rising into the sky behind a dragon gate. Even at this time, silver carp wanted to swim in the twin straits and run wild as much as he wanted. And at this time, Lai Mu's phone rang. The movement under the table also stopped. At this time, Lai Mu looked and saw the eyes of the two people looking at him. The sight of looking up made Lai Mu feel excited. This shot, this scene, this setting, these facial expressions are really familiar. However, it is much more beautiful than in the video. You guys go to work first, it's important to treat the silver carp, don't worry about me. There was no other way, Satoki and Gion continued to treat him, using all medical methods. Gion, in particular, has the personality of a newborn calf who is not afraid of tigers. At this moment, my self-confidence is overwhelming, and I believe more and more in my medical skills. Who is it that Lai Mu has such great strength and charm? Saving Lai Mu's pet silver carp, Gion has become the 10th priority. Blue blue brew. Brew brew brew. Lai Mu. After the phone was connected, Staff Officer I's voice came from the other side. Tien, I heard that you were causing trouble in Wano-kuni, what's the situation now? Facing the inquiry from Vice Admiral He, Lai Mu lay down and thought that he had indeed not reported his whereabouts to the headquarters for a long time, so he said directly, oh, this is the matter. It's simple, I've sunk Beast's pirate's jack to the bottom of the sea. A little comfortable, a little, deep. Comfortable, you guys, a little deep. He was a little surprised. She turned back to look at Sengoku, and Sengoku shook his head, saying that he didn't understand what Lai Mu was talking about. But, as smart as a crane, she looked back and understood. Oh, I understand, Jack sank into the deep sea, very deep. You defeated Jack and you were in a good mood. What happens next? Lai Mu twisted his neck, and then continued. Then, I arrived at Wano-kuni and killed Kaido's giant dragon. The dragon is in pain, please be gentle. A little gentler. The dragon is in pain. He was a little confused. What happened to Lai Mu today? I feel a little confused when I speak. Could it be that he has met a powerful opponent? Even besieged. However, he figured it out again. Oh, you killed Kaido and left a wound on the dragon's body. Of course it's very painful. Etc. What did we hear? Immediately, he, Vice Admiral He and others in Sengoku Admiral's office were immediately shocked. Lai Mu beheaded Kaido, a swordsman, broken zone fish body, fantasy beast species, blue dragon form. Soon, Sengoku's voice came from the other side of the phone. Sengoku's tone was quick and he seemed very anxious, he said. Lai Mu, everything you said is true, did you really defeat Kaido? Lai Mu nodded casually and sighed. Just trust me. Immediately afterwards, Lai Mu seemed to enter his memories. Of course it's true, Kaido has been defeated, Beast's Pirates is probably going to disband, and at the same time, the guy from Whitebeard Newgate also came and made an appointment with me to stay near Wano-kuni Island duel. Yes, I agree, shock fruit is so comfortable. What, 88? 83. Shock fruit is very comfortable. Could it be, has Lai Mu already fought against a strong man like Whitebeard? Whitebeard also uses shock fruit. Seeing this, both the Crane Vice Admiral and the Sengoku Admiral were completely crazy and tried to dissuade him. Whitebeard is not someone to be trifled with. If the Golden Lion is the king of the sea, so is Whitebeard. Even Whitebeard controls shock fruit and has the power to destroy the entire world. It's because of personality. Whitebeard seems less dangerous than Golden Lion. Yes, Sengoku and others know deeply that Whitebeard is the most dangerous pirate on the sea. Lai Mu, don't be impulsive. In this regard, Lai Mu could only say, although shock fruit is very comfortable, Whitebeard and I have made an agreement. I will stick to it. I believe in my own strength. At this moment, Sengoku was completely panicked. Not long after defeating the Golden Lion, Bye-Bye was found again. Why does Lai Mu do everything? Doesn't he know that it is dangerous to face shock fruit's opponent Whitebeard? Moreover, Lai Mu faced pirates one after another along the way and never had a good rest. If it continues, will it no longer be 1v1? Even if the pirates will unite, it is possible that Lai Mu will face UI players like LV21VN in the future. Don't be impulsive, I allow you to have up to 2 opponents. Sengoku was a little nervous and said repeatedly, by the way, I have already asked Kizaru to rush there. You have to wait until Porcelino arrives before making plans. Don't be impulsive. Quote. At this time, Lai Mu looked at the luxurious ceiling decorations of Tianyu's house and said, okay, speed up. Quick, Crane and Sengoku suddenly became nervous. Have things come to a head? Even a reckless man like Lai Mu said to speed up. According to everyone's understanding of Lai Mu, he has never been timid. Now he actually asked the headquarters to speed up the rescue process. He must have encountered something that cannot be handled. At this time, Suru Vice Admiral was a little dissatisfied and said, "What's going on with Gion? You don't report such an important thing. What the hell is she doing now?" Hearing he's dissatisfied roar on the side, Lai Mu quickly explained. "Gion is fine, I asked her to do this. It would be bad if Gion was scolded because of this incident." At the moment, Lai Mu continued, "Don't worry, there is nothing wrong with her and me. Did you hear Gion? After something happened, Vice Admiral he felt relieved. Who does she care about most in this department? That must be my sister Gion." At this time, he immediately said to the messenger Gahara, "Gahara, call Kizaru immediately and ask him to rush to Wano-kuni quickly. You can even use sparkling fruit. The speed must be accelerated. Keep accelerating. The situation is critical." "Yes," Wano-kuni sighed, because of the country. Lai Mu nodded and glanced at Tianyu Toki and Gion. "Well, you really need to hurry up." Naval headquarters, he kept nodding and immediately made arrangements. "I understand, Lai Mu, don't be impulsive and wait patiently. Porsalino will be here soon. You must persist." 1. At this time, Lai Mu felt comfortable. Sengoku Admiral, Crane Vice Admiral, let's do this for today. I'm going to be busy. Good. After hanging up the phone, Lai Mu looked at Amazuki Toki and Gion. Saved by 2 swordsmen, Silver Carp was in high spirits. Gion's eyes were a little confused. Was Lai Mu just on the phone with he? Within the headquarters, it is directly behind Gion. There is a huge age difference between the two, but they have a very good relationship and usually treat each other as sisters. Especially after Gion became an adult, Suru, as his elder sister, began to teach Gion various knowledge. Of course, this also includes medical technology that saves Silver Carp. However, he is not that particularly professional after all. After personal experiments, Gion knew that under the guidance of Lai Mu, a great swordsman, sister he seemed a bit amateur. If she wanted to save the Silver Carp, she had to obey Lai Mu's command. At this time, why did you stop? At this moment, both Tianyu Toki and Gion's heads popped up, and they both expressed a little grievance. The Silver Carp is growing healthily, but it is too big and the space is very crowded. It is a bit breathless. In this regard, Lai Mu patiently taught, you are not that experienced yet. It seems that you have not adapted to the shape of this space yet. You can practice more in the future. When will you be able to adapt to the shape of this space? The Silver Carp enters and exits the free home, even if the Silver Carp rescue plan is completely completed. Quote. Yes, sir. I have remembered it. Yes, sir. The slave family has remembered it. Gion was still a little uncomfortable with 970, but he still did as he was told. After all, saving the Silver Carp is a great achievement, which is better than the good deeds of good people who built the 7-level pagoda, and I feel full of accomplishment. And at this time, Lai Mu patted the top of his knees. Silver Carp saved. The next step is to release the animals. Put it where it belongs and swim freely. In this way, Tuan is its paradise. I'll leave this matter to Tensuke Toki. However, Gion is also indispensable. You have to see and learn it first. Tianyushi nodded heavily. Having proof of Silver Carp rescue in advance, she once again had the upper hand. She quickly adjusted her position. Sit down slowly. Put the Silver Carp into the pool. The heavy and exciting feeling suddenly spread. At this moment, Silver Carp enters the water like a hidden dragon entering the sea. One moment it sinks to the bottom of the sea, and the next moment it rises to the surface and bubbles appear. Phew. The whole picture is like a little dolphin that has found a home, playing the whole time. Looks like a happy group. And at this time, Gion looked at it carefully. She knew that the most meaningful step was to save the Silver Carp, keep it alive and healthy, and return it to the sea. Gion stared closely, afraid of missing any details. After all, she is a novice, so she still cares about the plan to save the Silver Carp. And hopefully I can make a difference. Snap, snap. The bubbles emerged from the sea surface and continuously produced small white bubbles. Then, as they came into contact with the air, they burst and caused small explosions. The entire sea surface felt like white steam was coming out. At this time, Tianyushi seemed to feel a little uncomfortable, and his expression became different from usual. Some even frowned and their toes curled up. It's painful to look at. Are you uncomfortable? Tenyu wiped the sweat from his forehead, looked at Gion, and smiled. No. Gion is a little confused. Then why do you have such a strange expression? Are you not happy about saving the Silver Carp? I just ate too much and it's a little hard to digest. But it feels so good to be full. I'm so happy. At this time, Lai Mu looked at Gion with a smile. Just slow down and it'll be fine. Don't worry, if she eats too much, Gion, you can help her digest it. But, Gion, since it's your first time to release a Silver Carp, I'd better let she help you. Tianyushi pondered for a moment and immediately stood up. Phew. At this moment, Tianyushi suddenly felt refreshed, feeling like he had just come down from heaven. She immediately nodded and understood. Sir. Slave, I know how to control the rhythm and can help Gion move. After listening, Lai Mu relaxed completely. With the help of Tian Shi, an old doctor, the pace of release will definitely give the silver carp the best experience. Okay, I trust your sense of rhythm. Then, Gion, you can start. Only then did Tianyu react from the trembling. Yes, sir. Gion was looking forward to it. Yes, big. 082. You're not dead just because I'm lazy. Ancient weapon key. 02. You are not dead because I am lazy. Ancient weapon key. Early the next morning, Lai Mu, Gion, and Tianyushi walked out of the courtyard radiantly. Tian Yushi has long been accustomed to Lai Mu and does not feel the slightest discomfort. Gion, on the other hand, walks a little awkwardly. If you think about it for a moment, you will know that this is caused by development. And last night, under Lai Mu's observation haki, the happy rhythm of Amazuki Toki and Gion was firmly controlled, which can be said to make the two of them so happy. Of course, the most exciting thing is Lai Mu himself. After all, anyone would feel lucky to be served by two top beauties. Lai Mu doesn't have much else, but he has more kidneys, and he has completely developed the effects of the Iron Giant's physique, making it extremely easy to use. At this time, especially Gion, after experiencing such a big plan to save the silver carp, his whole person changed and he achieved an extraordinary life. His radiant spirit could no longer be resisted at this moment. It's like he's become a different person. At this moment, Gion is no longer so embarrassed. So, surrounded by the two people, Lai Mu came to the hall of Tianyu's house. Master Lai Mu, are you really going to fight Whitebeard today? Tian Yushi said with some worry. The events of yesterday were still fresh in his mind, and Tian Yushi felt confident about Lai Mu's strength. However, as a good wife, you still have to worry about what you should worry about. This is what her mother personally taught her when she traveled through the previous sky and moon. Since she is the surrendered party, everything must be based on Lai Mu, and any emotion must serve Master Lai Mu. However, now the form of Wano-kuni is quite complicated. First of all, the Kazuki family has ruled Wano-kuni for hundreds of years. However, due to the existence of the sword god Lai Mu, it has become a little shaken. Many people already know that Lai Mu is a power of the Tianyu family, and even ask the Tianyu family to regain control of Wano-kuni. A generation of sword gods is what the people want, and many residents already have new ideas. The Kazuki family is a family that emerged hundreds of years ago. It can even be said that they picked the fruit of the Tianyu family. But now, the Tianyu family seems to be making a comeback, so the ending of Wano-kuni will change drastically. Moreover, since Kaido failed, there was news from Wano-kuni that Whitebeard was about to enter. Everyone was shocked. More importantly, Wano-kuni's new generation of sword gods seems to be going to duel with Whitebeard, the strongest man on the sea. This has to affect the hearts of all Wano-kuni people. None of them wanted to let Wano-kuni's sword god take any chances. And at this time, hearing what Tianyu said, the current head of the Tianyu family, Tianyu Lingdong, could not help but frown. Although Wano-kuni is closed to the outside world, these daimyo still know the news at sea. Especially for those strong men on the sea. After their family's heirloom sword Guanxi Zhengzong was robbed, the Tianyu family became concerned about the situation in Dahai. Naturally, I also know who Whitebeard and Golden Lion are. And now, the sword god's son returns with an heirloom sword in his hand to fight by. That's a little worrying. Tianyu Lindong hesitated for a moment, but still put forward the suggestion from the perspective of the family that Lai Mu should go to challenge. Master Sword God, how about forget it like this? People like Whitebeard will let him jump on the sea. As long as we stay in Wano-kuni, there will be countless warriors supporting you. There is no need to go to this muddy water area. Sir, Gion also feels that there is no need to conflict with Whitebeard now. Besides, poor Salino is coming soon. We can wait for him to arrive before making a decision. Gion's face was red, and his face was rosy. Said. Now, Lai Mu, Gion, Tianyushi, after experiencing a crazy night, favored a lot. The three of us don't differentiate between you and me. Seeing everyone caring so much about themselves, Lai Mu was also delighted. However, there is no reason not to do something that can gain attention. Moreover, with his own strength, not to mention completely defeating Whitebeard, but a draw is entirely possible, and the probability of winning is quite high. The current Kaido is still a fledgling, and he has only just obtained the blue dragon form of the phantom beast species. And Whitebeard shock fruit has been around for more than 10 years. In this way, compared with Whitebeard, who is already at his peak, the current combat power of Kaido is not at the same level at all. But, is Lai Mu's strength just that simple? Let's not talk about the world-destroying Ryujin Jaka. Even the gravity fruit is not necessarily worse than Whitebeard's when used. You don't need to worry. I know my own strength. Whitebeard can't make any trouble. At this time, Lai Mu looked at Tianyu and said, there is still time, I have something to deal with, you and Gion just stay at Tianyu's house and wait for my news. Yes, sir, the slave family knows. Yes, sir, the slave family knows. I have to say that after surrendering the two of them, they became as soft as sheep. He is completely obedient to Lai Mu. Tianyu Lindong looked at this scene with admiration in his heart. Worthy of being the sword god of Wano-kuni. Not only is he powerful, his lethality to women is also irresistible. If only I were dozens of years younger. It cannot reach this level. It's really irritating to see people compare to each other. However, the old man has no idea now. He only hopes that the Tianyu family will get better and better. No doubt, how to let Master Sword God stay in Tianyu's house forever is a problem. Soon, After a few brief explanations, Lai Mu came to Kamui space. At this time, Kaido was still dying, just hanging on for a breath. Seeing Kaido on the ground, Lai Mu Jingchun is in the Kamui space. Kaido, are you going to die or not? Facing Lai Mu's greeting, Kaido really had an urge to die. However, the recovery ability of the blue dragon form of the phantom beast species is so powerful. The reason why Kaido is still alive has a lot to do with this devil fruit. Now he is still completely unable to move. He is in pain when he is alive, but has no strength when he is dead. WGA ha 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 ha. Golden Lion picked up an apple and bit it in front of Lai Mu. Is this the famous sword that caused damage to Kaido? Why haven't I seen it before? Shiki stared closely at the Ryujin Jaka worn around Lai Mu's waist. I think this knife is extraordinary. It is a top-notch sword that I have never seen before. Obviously, compared to the old man Guanxi Zhengzong who has been losing money for more than 10 years, he is much stronger. It seems that Lai Mu is not only powerful, even in terms of collected treasures, they are not necessarily worse than those of the rock pirates. Regarding this, Lai Mu was quite speechless. Did this guy not understand the situation? So, he reminded, Shiki, you are my prisoner now. If you say one more word, I will let you see God before Kaido. Jia ha 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 ha. Lai Mu, by leaving us alive, aren't you just making us surrender? Do you have any big plans? Let Laozi be involved. Golden Lion seemed to have obtained Lai Mu's lifeline, and wanted to use this as a request to ask Lai Mu to let him out. And how could Lai Mu let Shiki leave just because of what he said? Qian Lao Jiao, you really know how to put gold on your face. You misunderstood Shiki. With or without you, it won't have any impact on me. Do you really think you can get out? Moreover, you are now holding a rudder on your head, and your abilities have been greatly reduced. Do you think you are of any use to me? The reason why you are not dead now is just because I am lazy. Hearing what Lai Mu said, Golden Lion was immediately stunned. Is he serious? The reason why he didn't die was because the other party was lazy and didn't take action. I'm not here to chat with you, I just want to inform you. There must be a result today. Either you truly surrender, I will spare your lives, and even restore your ability to its peak state. Either, contribute your fruits, the apples on the ground are prepared for you. Speaking, Lai Mu opened the specific space of op fruit. In an instant, a cyclone started spinning in Lame's hands. Seeing the cyclone in Lai Mu's hand, Golden Lion suddenly became frightened. Paramesha op fruit. The key to the ancient weapon. .083. Kaido, sorry, Captain, I do too. Amazing video. 0/447. 083. Kaido, sorry, Captain, I do too. Feeling the specific space of op fruit, Golden Lion feels like the whole person is being cut open, and it feels like being slaughtered. However, he did not launch the armament hockey defense. Because he knows that in Kamui space, no matter how much you do, it will be useless. He is already a prisoner. Have you actually come this far? Golden Lion looked at Lai Mu and kept muttering, even his hand movements became slightly trembling. Key to the ancient weapon. Lai Mu didn't expect that this sentence would come out of Shiki's mouth. He just wanted to tell the Golden Lion that he had the op fruit. Lai Mu now has the ability to restore them to their original state. Then look at the expressions of these two big pirates. I didn't expect that I could get some information out of it. At this time, Kaido seemed to have a little energy. Although he was lying in the Kamui space and could not move, he kept muttering, op fruit, endless vitality. Shiki, this is Captain Rock's pursuit. That fruit. Seeing this, Lai Mu said directly, you Rock's remnants seem to have some secrets in your mouth. Tell them while you can still speak. Otherwise, you will shut up forever. Golden Lion and Kaido never expected that Lai Mu actually had two devil fruits. And, there's an op fruit. If there are countless secret treasures in the sea, there are always some that are extremely rare and irreplaceable. For example, the lion fruit, although it is a very rare and top-notch ability, is actually similar to the gravity fruit. 540. Although this type of secret treasure is rare, it is not irreplaceable. Kaido's fish fruits are similar to other types of dragon fruits, but there are usually not many of them. Paramesha op fruit is completely different. This is related to the issue of vitality, and even op fruit can give humans the ability to live forever. That's right, it's eternal life. As long as the immortality technique is cast, a person will never grow old, and his vitality may even reach an endless level. At that time, Rox was only one op fruit away from becoming an important part of the hegemony puzzle. Isn't this the reason for going to the Valley of the Gods? It's a pity that during the Battle of the Valley of the Gods, even though the Celestial Dragon's treasury was looted, there was still no sighting of the legendary Devil Fruit, or even news about the op fruit. It also completely disappeared into the sea. For the Rox at that time, it was desperate. Now, Paramesha op fruit actually appeared in Lai Mu's hands. Suddenly, this news was a huge blow to the two of them. Originally, Lai Mu was not as good as Captain Rox, but now it seems that his guess was wrong. The capital owned by Lai Mu is far richer than Captain Rox. In particular, both of them have the ability to produce multiple fruits. This is a special case. On the sea, it almost does not exist. Even Golden Lion and Kaido have only seen two people possess such abilities over the years. One is Rox, the other one is Lai Mu. At this moment, Golden Lion fell into a state of wry laughter. Gia ha 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 ha. I know, I know, BFCJ. Since you want to know, then I'll tell you everything. However, as long as I say it, the entire Marine, no, to be precise, the entire Marine Warhouse and all its affiliated countries will be your enemy until death. Seeing that Golden Lion was rarely so serious, Lai Mu felt the need to continue to stop. This is a secret on the sea, and few people in this department can talk about such secrets. In other words, Marineford headquarters is controlled by the World War government. Even Sengoku Admiral and others cannot talk about it easily. Therefore, if you want to get first-hand information, you still have to rely on the big mouth of a big pirate like Golden Lion. Now, Golden Lion seemed to have thought of something exciting and continued, because everyone is afraid of this power zone. Shiki, you talk a lot of nonsense, let's get to the point. Lai Mu reminded impatiently. Golden Lion was not unhappy at all and spoke directly. There are 3 ancient weapons with the title of God that have existed since ancient times and can destroy the world, namely Pluton, Pluto, Poseidon, Poseidon, Uranus, Uranus. Pluton is the most evil warship in the history of shipbuilding. It has the power to destroy an island with one cannon, but it is not easy to get Pluton. The difficulty is that it requires the help of 100 top craftsmen from the giant race to build it. Poseidon is a mermaid princess who only appears in hundreds of years and has the ability to communicate with the Sea Kings. The King of the Sea Kings has the ability to talk to the Sea Kings and command them. Possessing Poseidon can control the sea, but Poseidon can't control the sea for hundreds of years. The situation is beyond human control at all. As for Uranus, it controls all extreme weather on the sea, such as thunder, hurricanes, and tsunamis. It far exceeds the fruits of ordinary natural disasters, and the price is huge. Consume your life force. Since Golden Lion said this, Lai Mu probably understood. The reason why the World War Palace attaches so much importance to this Paramesh op fruit. It could be that the celestial dragons have an ancient weapon like Uranus in their hands. As long as Zhang controls Uranus and guards the holy land of Mariajoy, the royal power is unshakable. What kind of pirate group can only hang out on the sea? What can I do if I can jump again? It cannot shake the foundation of the World War Palace celestial dragons, the holy land. Now, Lai Mu looked at his panel again. The panel actually has new changes. Open black lens bracket host. Cledia D. Lai Mu close black lens bracket. Abilities. Top Conquerors Hockey, Top Observation Hockey, Top Armament Hockey. Open black lens bracket Devil Fruit, Gravity Fruit, Op Fruit, Thunder Fruit close black lens bracket. Possessing Martial Arts. Ido Ryu Great Swordsman Swordsmanship, Marine 6 Styles Great Perfection. Has Physique. Iron Giant. Special Abilities. Kamui, Physical Strength Replacement, Devil Fruit Awakening Seeds. Remaining follow points. 1.7 million. Those who surrender. Tensuki 100%, Gion 100%. Those who have not completely surrendered. Shiki 60%, Kaido 50%. Shiki's loyalty progress has actually reached 60%. And Kaido's loyalty progress has also reached 50%. Golden Lion is a man who has had his dreams wiped out and is still looking for another Joey boy. As for Kaido, he has not received treatment. Although he is not dead, he is almost like a disabled person. Even if they are evil pirates, they may still play an important role in the follow-up. Especially after Lai Mu learned about ancient weapons like Uranus, her worries increased. The royal power may not be eternal, but the power definitely can. There is nothing wrong with keeping the lives of the two of them. However, Lai Mu is not a good person. In Kamui space, you are the only master. How to deal with it, you still have to follow your own rules. So, Op Fruit is the key to controlling Uranus. All Lai Mu thinks about. Golden Lion seemed to have regrets at this moment. Of course, it's a pity that you shouldn't eat Op Fruit. Op Fruit's immortality can only be used on others. Shiki, you don't have to worry about this. Lai Mu did not continue on this topic, but said, now, I suddenly discovered your role, I will give you one last chance to become my subordinates, or just die in Kamui space. I want to get an accurate answer when we meet next time, but let me remind you first that I can see through any of your tricks. Don't treat me like a fool like rocks. I'm going to see Whitebeard now, and I'll find an opportunity later for you 3 remnants of Lux to get together. After saying that, Lai Mu's side began to fluctuate and he was about to leave. Wait, I think it's okay. Since we have such a good opportunity, why wait until next time? Upon seeing this, Golden Lion immediately said nervously, Gia ha 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 ha. Rather than die in this endless space, it's better to see it with your own eyes again. Witness an era. Right, Captain. Golden Lion was staring at Lai Mu at this moment, wanting to see what kind of reaction Lai Mu would have. What he said was true. Simply put, Golden Lion was indeed shaken. Instead of letting others slaughter him in the space, he also wanted to see Lai Mu's future and see if he could have the same achievements as Rocks. What's more, if he got treatment from Op Fruit, he could return to his peak strength. Therefore, Golden Lion is a compromise. Ding. Golden Lion Shiki's loyalty to you reaches 80%, meeting the conditions of not betraying easily. After hearing the system prompts, Lai Mu also nodded secretly. Although Golden Lion is not as 100% loyal as Tianyu Shi, 80% is basically enough. Lai Mu has every reason to believe that the follow-up can increase loyalty to 100%. By the way, isn't there a bug skill like Distinguished Heavenly Gods? Just Lai Mu thinks. It is a waste to use attention points on people like Golden Lion. Of course, the reason why Lai Mu made this decision was because of his strong strength. If you encounter the Golden Lion's backstab, just kill it directly. Besides, Lai Mu's visibility and Thunder Fruit's hard network increase are completely capable of monitoring. At this moment, Kaido was a little confused. This operation. 12,512. Shiki, what about your personality? Shiki, where is your dominance? OMG. Is this Golden Lion Shiki still the unruly legendary pirate I knew? Kaido feels that his worldview is about to collapse. So, Kaido quickly said, sorry, Captain, I am willing to. 084. News exposed Lai Mu's evil deeds, the headquarters was in chaos, 5 elders called. 084. News exposed Lai Mu's evil deeds, the headquarters was in chaos, and 5 elders called. But Lai Mu did not stay and disappeared directly into Kamui space. Only 2 confused people were left. Shiki and Kaido looked at each other, a little at a loss. They thought that by virtue of their identity as a big pirate at sea, as long as you say you want to surrender to Lai Mu, you will lose Lai Mu's attention. Even the 2 of them felt that Lai Mu jumped up with joy. However, no, Lai Mu didn't stop fluctuating, and went to find Whitebeard through space transfer. As for Golden Lion and Kaido, they will continue to be like this. Golden Lion felt that the rudder on his head was a little heavy, making him uncomfortable. Kaido, on the other hand, is still lying in Kamui's space without death, feeling cold all over. Naval Headquarters, Marineford. At this moment, a small meeting was taking place in Sengoku Admiral's office. A considerable number of people gathered, and at this time, everyone knew clearly that Lai Mu had done a big thing in Wano Kuni country, and everyone had completely incredulous expressions. Especially those soldiers of the headquarters who have fought against Kaido. They know very well what a monster Kaido is. And now, he was defeated by Lai Mu Vice Admiral. So, Lai Mu is the biggest monster. Crane Vice Admiral opened his eyes and said with a smile, his eyes full of appreciation. Moreover, now that Gion is still in Wano Kuni with Lai Mu, it would be great if some stories can happen between the two. As the elder sister that Gion recognizes, Suru still cares about her sister's feelings. After all, he has been alone for so many years, and he still knows the harm that emptiness does to the body, otherwise he himself would not look so old. And based on Lai Mu's current performance, the future is bright. If Gion can get on Lai Mu's boat, he will have a much better future than he does. Since Lai Mu can defeat Kaido, it means that his strength is already among the top in the sea. There is no need to worry too much about safety issues, but then. Sengoku frowned and looked at everyone in the office. Man, he's going to face Whitebeard. Golden Lion uses the characteristics of lion fruit to frequently make strange moves, and Whitebeard is a real madman. That's Shock Fruit's ability user. Garp took a bite of senbei and seemed to remember the time when he and Whitebeard had fought against each other. Kaido wanted to occupy Wano Kuni, but now it has been completely destroyed by Lai Mu. For us at Marineford, it is a great achievement. Sengoku rubbed the bridge of his nose and said with some worry, it just seems that the news agency has been inquiring about Lai Mu. Regarding Vice Admiral's news, I'm worried that allowing the news agency to spread nonsense will be detrimental to Lai Mu's future promotion. The Wano Kuni battle will undoubtedly enhance Lai Mu's prestige in the headquarters. After all, the strength shown by Lai Mu is too terrifying. In this way, he easily solved Kaido's Mammoth Jack and killed Kaido. Let's not talk about the life and death of the 2 of them. It's just that Lai Mu's strength can no longer be described as powerful, but can only be described as a monster. Even though this has happened many times, who would have thought? A recruit from the headquarters can achieve such an achievement in just a few months. The credit has exceeded most of those who served in this department. And at this time, while everyone was talking, messenger soldier Jahala rushed in nervously, holding a newspaper in his hand. Looking at Jahala's nervous expression, it seemed that something important had happened. As the newspaper was handed to Sengoku Admiral's hand. The next second, naval headquarters exploded. Because the content of the newspaper is very simple. Divided into 2 parts. The first part is the follow-up investigation of the Battle of Aver. According to the news agency's investigation, after the Battle of Eight Wall, Morgans, the editor-in-chief of the news agency, personally went to the area of the Battle of Eight Wall to investigate, and later discovered the survivors of the Golden Lion main ship. Close black lens bracket. According to this fishman, he saw with his own eyes the legendary pirate Golden Lion and Lai Mu having a swordsmanship competition at an altitude of 10,000 meters. But in the end, Lai Mu used special space abilities to lock Golden Lion into space. Then, the main ship fell from an altitude of 10,000 meters. This pirate relied on his fish-human characteristics to avoid being shattered to pieces. Later, he survived on a desert island and was found by the president of the news agency, and then revealed the news of the naval battle. And his conclusion is, open black lens bracket Golden Lion Shiki did not disappear. Instead, he was imprisoned by Lai Mu, close black lens bracket. In this newspaper, there are photos of the Golden Lion crew. In the photo, the fishman has many bandages on his body, and the background is in the news. But everyone who knows the Golden Lion flying pirates knows that this person is the fishman subordinate of Golden Lion. Therefore, it is very likely that this fishman is a survivor of the Battle of Aver. He is the one who witnessed the incident with his own eyes. So, the Golden Lion was really imprisoned by Lai Mu. Seeing this, Sengoku and others frowned. Especially after I's previous analysis, it was confirmed that Lai Mu does have space-like abilities. It was later defined as Devil Fruit Awakening by Sengoku and others. If we continue to infer this news is probably true. But, why does Lai Mu do this? This obviously violates the discipline of the headquarters and is an act that breaks away from the military discipline of the headquarters. What do you think is true or false? Sengoku frowned and turned to look at Zephyr. Compared with Sengoku and others, after all, Zephyr has fought with Lai Mu twice, and the relationship is very different. If there is anyone in this department who knows Lai Mu best, then this person must be Zephyr. What are you looking at me doing? How do I know? Zephyr was still proud of Lai Mu, but now he couldn't help but become nervous. Lai Mu was kidding about his own future. Even Zephyr was a little confused here and could only say, I think it's fake. How could it be false? There is information about Wano-kuni behind this news. Take a look. Sengoku was instantly angry and handed the newspaper to everyone. Immediately afterwards, everyone saw the follow-up news. This is the news about Lai Mu in Wano-kuni. Follow-up investigation. Lai Mu, the 4th Admiral of the Naval Headquarters, first encountered the mammoth Jack of the Beasts pirates in the waters around Wano-kuni, and then sank Jack to the bottom of the sea. During the follow-up, Jack was salvaged by the personnel of the Beasts pirates, suffering all fractures. I don't know whether I will live or die. Lai Mu then faced off against Kazuki Oden, the daimyo samurai of Wano-kuni and the best swordsman in Wano-kuni. Finally, with his superb swordsmanship, Lai Mu left a major wound on Kazuki Oden's back. After this battle, Oden was sent to the Kazuki family, no one knows whether he will live or die. Later, Lai Mu met the flying dragon Kaido in Wano-kuni, and finally killed Kaido. Close black lens bracket. After this battle, Lai Mu killed the flying dragon and became the Wano-kuni sword god, and his reputation in Wano-kuni reached an unprecedented level. According to the residents of Wano-kuni, after Kaido was killed by Lai Mu, he disappeared out of thin air in front of Lai Mu, as if he was sucked into a specific space. Close black lens bracket. Final conclusion. Kaido, like the Golden Lion, was also imprisoned by Marineford's Lai Mu. Marine's 4th Admiral's strength is bottomless. Combined with real photos taken at the scene and interviews with Wano-kuni residents, people have to believe that this is true. Now, everyone in Sengoku's office felt numb. They also realized a problem. That is, Lai Mu not only defeated Golden Lion Kaido and others, but also caused a big trouble in the headquarters. You know, hiding criminals at sea will be investigated by the headquarters. Even if the circumstances are serious, they will have to be investigated by the World War Office. Those who commit minor offenses will be punished, while those who commit serious offenses will be escorted down. A dark cloud enveloped everyone's mind. Please give me flowers. Lai Mu is in big trouble. After all, those are Golden Lion and Kaido, and they are not comparable to ordinary minions. How could he make such a decision without permission? How do you usually control your subordinates? Sengoku looked at everyone, his tone full of anger. There is no way. Lai Mu's strength is too excellent, and he is a top talent for the entire headquarters. However, he made his own decision to imprison the criminal. These two people are the remnants of Rocks, the big pirate Golden Lion, and the big pirate Kaido. Such an important person must be dealt with by the headquarters personally. But now, Vice Admiral, a headquarters, took the initiative to imprison the two of them without authorization. This is serious malfeasance. This is a serious demerit and can even affect your career. Sengoku's mind was full of pity, so he could only vent his anger on everyone. What the hell is going on? This guy Lai Mu looks a bit like Dorag, he's so unique. Garp picked his nose, put the senbei in his arms, and said like a normal person. Hearing this, Sengoku also had a headache. What the hell? Dorag, Garp, your good son, you usually do this kind of thing a lot, right? However, can Dorag compare to the severity of what Lai Mu did? The one he imprisoned without authorization was the great pirate Golden Lion Shiki. The person he imprisoned without permission was Kaido, the remnant of Rocks. If you say something like this now, aren't you making trouble? Sengoku, don't get excited. This is just a news agency report. It may be to attract people's attention. It cannot be proved to be 100% true. We cannot make judgments easily. Regarding what Lai Mu did, he was also quite speechless. I can only comfort myself like this. But at the same time, she was already starting to worry about Gion. Now Gion is still on a mission with Lai Mu, so he might be implicated in some way. And Zephyr suddenly felt some angina pectoris and was heartbroken. Originally, Zephyr only thought that Lai Mu was very capable and had great potential, and that he was the best academy. He could definitely become the first pillar of the department in the future. Moreover, Lai Mu's personality is to do everything right away. No matter who the opponent is, as long as he protects Marine's affairs, Lai Mu will be there immediately. But now, it seems that Lai Mu's personality is too distinct, even lawless. If it's true, that's a bit bad. This. Zephyr smacked his mouth, then lit a cigar to calm down. The matter has not yet been decided. As he said, first of all, this matter cannot be confirmed to be true, and secondly, Lai Mu is facing pirates like Golden Lion Kaido, and even has to fight Whitebeard. No matter how you look at it, he is maintaining the image of our headquarters. Zephyr thought of all options, but it seemed that asking in person was the best option, so he added, it is still recommended to call Lai Mu or transfer directly to the headquarters. Just ask in detail. The complexity of the matter is far beyond anyone's imagination. On the one hand, Lai Mu is simply too powerful, so you have to think through the consequences of any treatment. The anger of a strong man is not something ordinary people can bear. Even the headquarters is not willing to have a stalemate with a strong person. Secondly, if Lai Mu really bypasses the headquarters and imprisons Golden Lion and others. So what is his purpose? This issue has to worry Sengoku. Yeah, Sengoku quickly summoned a messenger to call Lai Mu. Although no one else spoke, everyone was focused on waiting for the phone call to be answered. But at this moment, Sengoku's phone rang. After being connected, an old man's voice came from inside. Hearing this voice, everyone present was startled, because this voice was familiar to all the senior leaders of the headquarters except Jahala, who was present. It's 5 Elders River. 085. Things have reached an irreconcilable point. 085. Things have reached an irreconcilable point. It's the 5 Elders. Sengoku reminded them softly, with the purpose of telling everyone not to talk nonsense from now on. On the other hand, Messenger Jahala has been in this position for 3 years, and this is the first time he has seen 5 Elders personally calling him. It is estimated that the matter of Lai Mu idol has reached the ears of the hidden high-level officials, and the matter is serious. Sengoku, recall Lai Mu immediately and accept CP0's investigation. If Lai Mu disobeys the order, let Porsalino take action and bring him back by force. Hearing the words of the 5 elders, Sengoku couldn't help but frown. Porsalino has gone to Wano Kuni to help Lai Mu deal with Whitebeard, or to be a guarantee. And now, he actually asked Porsalino to take action and bring people back. No doubt, 5 elders have seen the news. They knew about Lai Mu imprisoning the Golden Lion, so they made the decision to forcibly recall Lai Mu. Especially, Porsalino was allowed to take action. Among the senior leaders of the World War Palace, the seriousness of Lai Mu's imprisoning of the Golden Lion. And Sengoku also knows the real reason. The fundamental reason why the Golden Lion and other rocks remnants are a major threat to the World War House, and the reason why the World War House is afraid of them, is that they, the backbone of rocks, know more or less some secrets of the sea. These secrets were mentioned, and the World War, 053, government could not bear it. And now, these secrets have been linked to Lai Mu. Oh no, things have reached this point and are somewhat irreconcilable. Moreover, according to Lai Mu's fearless personality, can Porsalino bring the person back? Besides, Lai Mu can defeat Golden Lion and Kaido. Is Porsalino really his opponent? Anyway, since it was an order from above, Sengoku still planned to obey it first. As for how to operate in a roundabout way, it depends on what will happen next. After ending his conversation with the 5 elders, Sengoku immediately called Harulo Lai Mu to the phone. Soon, on the far side. Then the phone bug rang. Poroporu, Poroporu. Paluporu, Poroporu. At this time, inside Kamui space. Golden Lion heard this sound and quickly flew to find the phone bug. It turns out that Lai Mu is accustomed to using Kamui space as a space ring, and usually throws things that are not used in the space. The Kamui space overlaps with the real space, but other than Lai Mu, others cannot easily travel through it. But now, the phone bug's bio waves can still be transmitted as a conductive medium. When someone called the bug, Golden Lion immediately flew over and found it. Moreover, while still placing the phone bug, I saw the 2 famous swords of Sakura Tokuguru, just lost in the space. However, Golden Lion was not prepared to take away the 2 famous swords that he cherished so much. Because in this space, any force of his own is no match for Lai Mu. The mentality I had before that I could conquer the world with 2 swords in my hands has long since been extinguished by being imprisoned. This feeling is exactly the same as when Golden Lion was forced to join Rock's pirate. However, the phone bug has to be answered. As for why you should take it. In fact, the reason is very simple. It was completely Golden Lion. I felt like I was going to be shut up. Finally, a call came. No matter who it was, I should answer it. It would be great to hear the ring. Just like that, the Golden Lion sat next to Kaido. The 2 looked at each other. The phone got through. Soon, Sengoku's voice came out. Lai Mu, where are you now? Return to the headquarters immediately. Lai Mu, don't fight Whitebeard anymore, you will be Marineford immediately. Return to headquarters immediately. Did you hear that? Lai Mu, speak quickly. You can tell from the voice that Sengoku is very anxious now. When the Golden Lion heard the voice of Sengoku, the old B***********, D, he immediately became energetic and suddenly forgot that he was still imprisoned, FK. Damn it, old B*********, D Sengoku. Kaido heard this voice and became curious. Lai Mu really wants to fight Whitebeard. He really didn't lie to us. Does he also want to lock up Whitebeard? And at this time, Marineford, Sengoku office. As the voices of the 2 people came out clearly, they fell into silence. Quote question mark quote. Quote question mark question mark question mark quote. Ha, and just looking at the phone bug like this, Jahala had a question mark. Isn't this the voice of Lai Mu's Vice Admiral? Instead, he looks like the great pirate Golden Lion. Moreover, not only Jahala, but also other people in the office, including Zhang Guo, Garp, he. This time I was really shocked. Even Zephyr couldn't help but show a look of surprise, and then he held his forehead with one hand and couldn't help but twitch the corners of his mouth. This brat, what a good guy, is completely a stone hammer now. Zephyr is like this, Sengoku is like this, everyone is like this. At this moment, everyone already knows. Lai Mu didn't kill the Golden Lion, or send many others into impel down. Instead, they really imprisoned the 2 of them privately. Suddenly, the entire office fell into deathly silence. Now only. Confused. Really confused. Because everyone doesn't know how to solve it at all. It's not just Sengoku and others at Naval Headquarters who are confused. Even the Golden Lion in Kamui's space is a little confused. Even the Golden Lion became afraid. The fact that he was imprisoned was exposed. If Lai Mu, the instigator, knew about it, it would undoubtedly be an act of betrayal. Shiki knew clearly in his heart that Lai Mu imprisoned himself privately so that he could not be noticed. And now, with his words, the result was known to the people at Marineford headquarters. If Lai Mu found out about this, he would have to peel off his skin. When Golden Lion was in rocks, he was almost killed because he couldn't control his big mouth. Now, Golden Lion Shiki felt something bad in his heart and was a little confused. FK. And Marineford, Sengoku's office became unusually quiet. Someone always breaks the peace. Ha 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 ha. Finally, Garp couldn't help but laugh, and tears kept coming out of his eyes, obviously crying from laughter. Originally, everyone was doubtful. Well now, as the voice of Golden Lion is heard, it is proved to be true. A big pirate like Golden Lion was actually imprisoned by a marine brat. If this matter really spreads, it will shake the whole world. Golden Lion Shiki, you are so embarrassed. You have become a prisoner of our Vice Admiral. Wahahahahaha. The moment Garp burst into laughter, Golden Lion was completely stunned. Just hang up the phone, bug. He kept reflecting in Kamui's space on why he was so mean-mouthed. It's okay now. As long as there are changes in Naval Headquarters, I'm afraid I won't be able to get out. Kaido was lying on the ground, still looking half dead. Although he felt funny in his heart, if he followed Garp and laughed at Shiki, in his current state, he would not be able to dig 10,000 transparent holes. Marineford, Sengoku office. Sengoku Admiral reached out and rubbed his eyebrows, feeling something bad. He just glared at Garp and said in a serious tone, "This is not a funny thing. Garp, you can joke around in the future. This is a serious matter." Immediately afterwards, Sengoku turned to Gahara and angrily yelled, "Also, Gahara, did you dial the wrong number? Why are you so careless at work?" At this moment, Jahala still didn't understand the meaning. "Yes, I have to take the blame for Lai Mu idol." Jahala could only nod his head and said, "Zon. Sengoku Admiral, I seem to have dialed a wrong number. I have never seen this number before." "Well, pay attention next time. Don't make such a stupid mistake again. There is no way. Too many things happen at once, and the more chaotic it is, the harder it is to deal with." One phone call actually informed Thresh about Lai Mu imprisoning the Golden Lion. Now that it has been confirmed, the follow-up processing is crucial, as it is related to the future of Marine Admiral. Anyway, they are all facts. If it can be delayed for a while, the follow-up will be easier to deal with. Present. Sengoku felt a headache. Since we can't contact Lai Mu, let's inform Kizaru first and ask him to go to Wano quickly. Stop causing trouble and just call Lai Mu back. After completing these things, everyone in the office fell into silence again. At the same time, a huge ship was docked near an island in the waters near Wano. At this time, a newspaper was thrown down from the sky by the news bird. Wow. Aboard Moby DK, Whitebeard was sitting in his captain's seat, drinking wine. At this time, Marco and others rushed over. They learned that Whitebeard had taken the lead in logging into Wano yesterday, and came back the same day, and had been staying in the captain's cabin since then. It was too late yesterday to disturb him, and now was the time to ask. "Dad, what happened yesterday because you came back early?" "Beast's pirates won't be wiped out by Daddy, ha 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 ha. Then what else are we fighting for? Dad is the most powerful man in the world. Just a Beast's pirates is not powerful enough for one punch from Dad." The crew members of the Whitebeard pirates are constantly sighing. 0.0 and Newgate has nothing to say. Because, when Whitebeard Newgate arrived, the Beast's pirates had already been dispersed by Lai Mu, that monster brat. How can you redeem your good intentions when things happen? I can't say that I traveled across the ocean to see Kaido, but Kaido was killed with a knife. This time I just went to make some soy sauce. At this time, as the newspaper fell, Marshal D. Teach trotted over holding the newspaper. Dad, it's news from Wano. Sage accepted the newspaper handed over by Marshal D. Teach with a smile, and then hit Teach directly on the head with a mallet. The next second, a big bulge came out. Teach, don't act so surprised in front of Dad, as if you have never seen the world before. Remember, you are a crew member of the Whitebeard Pirates, and you are also my father's son. It has only been a year since Teach joined the Whitebeard Pirates. He is still not used to many things, and his face is full of grievances. It's Sachi, this guy bullies him all the time. 80% of the bumps on the head were caused by Saki. When Sachi took the newspaper, he just glanced at it and was immediately shocked. This posture is more tense than Marshal D. Teach. Oh my god. This marine Lai Mu actually killed Kaido and disbanded Beast's pirates.